very much for their very kind sponsorship. And if you price one of our sponsors today for Mortgage Advice Bureau in Credit, and give us a long sponsor home insurance, join the part of the Mortgage Advice Bureau network. And your own research if you don't do that payment, and there may be a few more
Action packed.
Countrywide.
Everyone!
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Sports for all.
But if you can't come pointing, then you can follow it all on the live stream. Good morning and welcome to the most glorious Devon day as the point-to-pointing season here in Devon and Cornwall gets underway for the 2021-22 season. Hopefully a complete season which will take us right the way through until June. 22 fixtures after today. But on this occasion, it's welcome to Dunsmore, welcome to the Dunsmore Club fixture. We're close to the village of Silverton. We're in the Exe-Valley. Sort of in that direction is the town of Tiverton. Sort of in that direction is Exeter. And sort of behind me is Crediton and Dartmoor. That's the part of the world we're talking about. Lovely point-to-pointing country and looking absolutely fantastic today for the start of the point-to-pointing season in Devon and Cornwall. And we are hugely excited to be here, and we'll be at Wadebridge in a couple of weeks' time, be back at Wadebridge in January, in Cornwall for Trebudanon and Great Trethiw, but right the way across Devon as well. And you can follow loads of the action, masses of the action via live streaming, which will be taking place during this season. It was this area, the heartland of point-to-pointing, you might say, which pioneered this live streaming. We were delighted to be able to bring you fixtures during last season. It was a relatively truncated season because of the pandemic, but fingers crossed everything will be okay this time around and we can go right the way through. And we'll be chatting during the afternoon about ways of following the action in the point-to-pointing area of Devon and Cornwall. But bear this in mind, the website, pointingdc.co.uk, all the information will be on that as the season goes on. And I'll tell you one of the things you can do. You can become an angel. You can buy a package of coverage for this point-to-pointing season. Right, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We'll look at the card in just a second and we'll discuss our sponsors. But the most important thing is to find out about the ground and the racecourse itself. And I'm delighted to say that Norman Channon, who's the clerk of the course here, has joined us now to give us an update. Hello, how are you? You've been busy.
Been a bit hectic, but we're getting there.
Excellent.
Lovely sun.
And the weather's come out for you.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. So tell us about the ground for this afternoon.
The ground.
Come nice and close to the mic, Norm. Norman, we don't want to miss you.
Right. Yeah. Well, we're most 3/4 good, and then we've got some soft ground down the bottom. So hope to maintain good ground, but it's drying slightly. But it's lovely ground with a good covering of grass.
Lovely. Well, really looking forward to it. It's only the second time you've raced here.
It's the second meeting here. The first meeting was 2 years ago. We were all ready to go last year with COVID, and we were stopped about 10 days before the meeting. But hey ho, away we go. And
just tell us about it's left-handed. Just tell us about the course.
It's a left-handed track. We bypass all fences on the outside, and we've just got six fences. It's probably one of the only courses in the country with only 6 fences, but we had a good meeting, the first meeting here 2 years ago, and obviously we've got to work in with the farmer keeps a lot of sheep, and we work in with him.
And roughly
we're
how
grateful
far
to
round?
him.
Roughly how far?
We're a
round?
mile circuit,
Right.
so we're just over a mile circuit.
And if you were to describe the track, you as a horse person were to describe the track, it's quite sharp.
It's a little bit sharp, yeah, and slightly undulating, but mostly flat with downhill and a bit of uphill finish.
And how much work has gone into the last?
Tremendous amount of work.
Yeah, go
but
on.
We've got a real good team, and we've done mostly Sunday mornings, but we started about 3 weeks ago, so we've been full bore for the last 3 weeks. But obviously the last 3 or 4 days it's been a bit hectic.
Yeah, and weather-wise over the last few weeks,
it's been good for us. We had a nice lot of rain, which altered the going up just nice. We had some heavy rain around the similar time that Ottery lost their meeting, sadly due to flooding. And yeah, it's all good.
And as far as the runners today are concerned, there might not be a vast number of them, but the quality's there.
The quality's there. Now, hopefully, with the Ineos race, should be good racing.
Great to see them, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Very good.
Super. Well, look, good luck. I know you've got lots to do, so we must let you go. And I hope
2
the
radios.
afternoon.
Not 2 Jags, 2 radios.
Okay. Excellent. Well, thanks very much to Norman Channon, and best of luck for the fixture this afternoon. Great to have him on the live stream updating us this afternoon. I'll tell you what, we need to thank in particular. We need to thank lots of people for what is able to take place here today, but certainly Mark, Tracy and James Weeks, who farm this land, have been particularly fantastic in terms of making certain that it can all take place. First race scheduled for 12 o'clock. I have to tell you, and you've probably been doing this around the nation, indeed around the world, but we had 2 minutes silence impeccably observed at 11 o'clock. A sound of hunting horns signalled to the crowd here, right, let's just, like everybody else, stand still for a couple of minutes and remember on this Remembrance Sunday. And that was beautifully observed, and I'm delighted that we were able to do that earlier on, and we can now get into the action. And I see the first of the horses is appearing in the paddock for our first race, and we'll see that in just a second. But I think we can have a look at the runners and riders for race 1. And here we are. This is the Goffs UK 4 and 5 year olds maiden race. There were 6 entries, and number 6 doesn't go, but as you can see, everybody else is here. Number 1, Arctic Poet. Fly McIntyre rides that now. Martin McIntyre on board Arctic Poet. Will Biddick, 7 times champion point-to-point rider, is on number 2, Captain Westy, owned and trained by Tom Malone. Then number 3, Hollywood's Hill. James King rides this in the colours of the Walnut Hill Partnership, and James, our reigning champion point-to-point rider. And then number 4, Lambristo, with Chloe Emsley riding in the colours of Wendy Jarrett. Those are certainly familiar colours, the dark blue and the light blue colours of Wendy Jarrett, and Lambristo is number 4. Chloe had such a good season last year, and leading female rider around these parts. And 5, Park This One, Josh Newman is riding Park This One. I think Josh missed the end of the last season after a fall, but he's back and raring to go, and I saw him walking around the racecourse with his newish baby with him anyway. So Park This One, ridden by Josh Newman, riding in the colours of the Shannon Lodge Racing Club. So those are 5 runners for the first race, and just actually those pictures, we'll have a look at the horse in just a second, but that indeed is Hollywood's Hill. But it is lovely weather. Look at that behind, bookmakers, crowds able to come and enjoy the season. Clearly last year we got going at Ottery St Mary. There was a fixture, wasn't there, at Wadebridge as well, and then happy scenes today. Then that long period of no point-to-pointing because of the pandemic, then restarting in the spring and having a good time from the spring through until the early summer. But fingers crossed we will be able to go the full season on this occasion. And that website that I mentioned already, pointingdc.co.uk, all the fixtures for this heartland area. Oh, there we are. And goodness, we're really social media'd up. We've got Facebook, and we've got Instagram, and we've got Twitter as well. And hashtag frequently used, of course, in this world is Go Pointing. But that is the website, www.pointing, D for David, C for Cornwall, D for David, D for Devon, C for Cornwall.co.uk. That's the website, and you'll be able to get all the action. So there's our first runner in the paddock for the first race, Hollywood Hills. Let's just quickly remind ourselves about what is coming up during the afternoon, the whole programme. That first race is in a few minutes' time at 12 o'clock. And then we've got a conditions race at 12:35 this afternoon. Looking forward to that. Then as the afternoon goes on, the Dunsmore condition race for veteran and novice riders is at 1:10. Look at those blue skies that you can see above the paddock here. And then as the afternoon progresses, the Ineos Grenadier mixed open race, that's at 1:45. Really excited about having Ineos Automotive as supporters of the Point-To-Point season this season. And their mixed open race is at 1:45. And then we've got a couple more after that on the programme this afternoon. And the remaining race has got a restricted race at 2:20. Kindly sponsored by supporters of the Silverton Hunt, and then we round off the afternoon quite early, but remind it gets dark earlier and earlier, doesn't it, with the 6-year-old and over maiden race that comes up at 2:55. So that is the situation in terms of the programme this afternoon. Still just that one horse in the paddock for our first race, and it's number 3 on the card, I think, isn't it? Which is Hollywood's Hill, 4-year-old by Scirocco. James King is riding Hollywood's Hill. Fran Post, the trainer, qualified this one with the Bista and races for the Walnut Hill Partnership. Racecourse debut, the mother, which was a mare called Play the Wing by Bob Back, showed bits and pieces of promise. This horse has got a brother, Mr Fred Rogers, trained by Gordon Elliott, won a bumper at Wexford in Ireland in March in good style, and second in a maiden hurdle race at Wexford in October. Only runs so far. So Hollywood's Hill clearly in good hands. Fran Post and Charlie Post running a very successful operation close to Stratford-on-Avon in Warwickshire. And those are the kind of pictures that we plan to bring you on these live streams throughout the season, close up on this occasion with Hollywood's Hill. And I see some of the other runners are just emerging from the Horsebox Park to come and join us in the paddock. Betting this afternoon. There are bookmakers. There are, I think it's half a dozen or 7 or 8 bookmakers here today. That is just so nice to see, as well as the crowds, to see the bookmakers back here and able to form proper markets. And I'm delighted to say Mike Drown is with us now to update on the betting. Good afternoon, how are you? Yeah, it is nice to be back. There's a feeling, we were raring to go at Ottery St Mary. Then the rains came, so we had to wait a couple of weeks. But it's a sort of, I almost wanted to say to everyone, Happy New Year.
Delighted that it's just such a beautiful place and sunshine. And
yeah, absolutely. Devon and Cornwall in the sunshine, doing this type of thing is absolutely fantastic. So you've been to the bookmakers.
Yeah.
What can you report as far as the odds are concerned for the first race?
Well, there's not loads of money about, but as you'd be expected, that Fran Post's horse, Hollywood's Hill, is well fancied at 11-10, and obviously Tom Malone's horse has plenty of money for that at 1-2. So
that's Captain Westy.
Yeah, Captain Westy. Yeah.
So what have you got odds-wise so far? You've got 11-10 on Hollywood's Hills.
Yeah, Arctic Poet for Nicky Frost is 14-1, Captain Westy 1-2, Hollywood's Hill 11-10, Lambristo 14-1, Park this one 3-1.
Excellent, excellent. And Mike will keep us updated as the afternoon goes on with exactly what is taking place. But all the details as far as this point-to-point is concerned, and indeed the whole season is concerned, our website, just to say that one more time. Well, it won't be one more time, I'll repeat it several times during the afternoon, but pointingdc.co.uk. And the ground basically good, softer in places for this 6-race programme which kicks off the Devon and Cornwall season. So we had a look at Hollywood Hills in the paddock. Perhaps we can just go take our cameras back to the paddock now to see who else is around, and we've got the runners gradually arriving at the starting point. I just love that pic. I love that shot of people, of sunshine, of horses, of the Devon countryside at this time of the year. Looks absolutely fabulous. Right, so who are we going to pick up next? That there, as you can see, is number 4, Lambristo. 5-year-old by Bungle in the Jungle, trained by Ed Walker, not too far away from here. Qualified with the Beaufort Hunt, and as we said, Chloe Emsley riding in the colours of Wendy Jarrett. This Lambristo was 0 from 5 on the flat. Didn't show up much in 4 National Hunt races between April and June. Bit keen, showed a bit of inexperience, but will have benefited probably from that experience so far. So there's a close-up shot of that one. Where are we going to go next? You see Will Biddick, if you're following his horse, Captain Westy, quite a lot of yellow about the colours. There is, well, Captain Westy's just gone through our shot. Let's stick with Arctic Poet. There's Will, and we'll look at his horse in just a second, but let's stick with number 1, Arctic Poet. It's the 5-year-old by Dylan Thomas, and Nicky Frost trains. Husband of Jimmy, father of Brownie and Hayden, and this one qualified with the Dartmoor. Hasn't shown anything under rules, most recently when stumbling and then getting tailed off in a maiden hurdle race at Warwick in April. But there's a good close-up shot of Arctic Poet. Let's see if we can find number 2, Captain Westy, next. And Captain Westy is there in the sort of the middle of the 3 that we're looking at there. A 5-year-old by Westerner. So many people in National Hunt Racing, point-to-pointing, love Westerner. This one owned and trained by Tom Malone, qualified with the Taunton Vale Harriers, and was well beaten in a bumper, but the form looks very, very solid. No, was well beaten, but runner-up still, but by a horse called Churchstone Warrior, that's been second and first since, and was well clear of the 3rd horse, which has been a winner twice since. So the form is rock solid for Captain Westy, clearly in very good hands. And this is a combination, Will Biddick and Tom Malone, which tends to do very well in this type of race. So good shots there of Captain Westy. The only one I think we haven't seen is number 5, Park This One. And Park This One is just going across. There we are. As if by magic, Park This One walks straight into the shot. Walk in the Park is the stallion, the sire of this one. Trained by Neil McLean and qualified via the Sevington. Runs for the Shannon Lodge Racing Club. Couple of runs, most recently 3rd at Cottlestone in May behind Lasso. Demonstrated he'd learnt from his debut in a Hottage race at Trebudanon in April. So that's Park This One. Josh Newman, good to see Josh back in action here. Harness, that was the word I was looking for earlier on. Josh was walking around with his baby in a harness earlier on. So baby getting an early taste of point-to-pointing, and plenty of people here getting a taste of point-to-pointing as well, crowding around the paddock for a look at these horses this afternoon. 5 for our first race, because number 6, Tamango, doesn't run, but the other 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 all go. And in fact, for those of you just joining the live stream this afternoon, we might just have another look at the runners and riders just to confirm them for our first race. So this is the Goffs UK 4 and 5-year-old maiden race, scheduled for 12 o'clock so the race due off in about 10 minutes time. Number 1, that Arctic Poet for the Frosts, Fly McIntyre riding. This is Dunn's colours. 2, Captain Westy, and those colours sort of predominantly brown. 2, Captain Westy, Tom Malone, the owner and trainer of this, the well-known bloodstock agent. Will Biddick in colours that are mainly yellow once you see them go to the start. Then 3, Hollywood's Hills, a 4-year-old, so gets a bit of a weight concession. James King, champion point-to-point rider of last season, riding in the colours of the Walnut Hill Partnership. And this one trained by Fran and Charlie Post. And the colours there for Hollywood's Hills, predominantly black colours with some pink around the place as well. Then 4, Lambristo, Chloe Emsley riding in the colours of Wendy Jarrett. And Chloe, who had such a memorable season last year, sort of a couple of shades of blue, the colours of Lambristo. And then park this one, Josh Newman riding dark blue with green. I'll have a look at those colours in a minute. I think they all look basically quite dark. Number 5, park this one, Josh Newman riding in the colours of Shannon Lodge Racing Club. That is the lineup for our first race this afternoon, kindly sponsored by Goffs UK. And there's Chloe. So those are the bluish colours that I talked about, and they're right in the centre of the picture. We can see James King, the dark colours with the pink star. So those are the ones to be looking out for with James. James had fabulous season last year, riding 33 winners in the end. Champion point-to-point rider by national champion by a street from Jack Andrews with 16, Will Biddick and Bradley Gibbs with 15 each. Will ending his season a little bit earlier with an ankle injury, but back here today. And James's amazing year, underlined by the fact that he trained 5 winners as well. I think he's had a couple of successes so far this season. So James in action here today, Will in action here today. Looking forward to seeing both of those return to the Devon and Cornwall area. Isn't that great? That is British point-to-pointing at its very best. The grass is green, the skies are blue, the sun is out, the crowds are here. You can just see on the extreme left of your picture, I think he was picking up his binoculars there, our commentator this afternoon, Chris Clapham, is describing the action for us. And we're pretty much all set for the first race. The runners, I think riders keen to get on with it, so riders in the paddock in very good time, and the horses will be given the signal to go down towards the starting point. The racecourse itself is of an oval shape, as the clerk of the course, Norman Channing, was telling us earlier on, just the 6 jumps on the track. They start, as we look at that picture, sort of, you see that tent with the bookmakers' umbrellas in front, the other sort of just to the other side of that in a bit of a chute. Then they come around 3 times in all, and they pull right at the end of the race from the a sort of position equidistant between the second last and the last up to the finish is really quite steep. So you don't want your horse or your fancy to be getting tired at well, they inevitably will be getting tired, but you want them to have as much stamina in the locker as possible at that particular point. Signal for the horses to be mounted by the riders given in the paddock now. There's Tom Malone, the bloodstock agent, ready to get his on the way to the start. Will Biddick about to be given the leg up there, the yellow and green colours. There we are. The first meeting at Dunsmore was just 2 years ago. They didn't race last year because of, well, for obvious reasons. Will actually had an unfortunate tumble on the flat that year, but he blamed himself, and he'll be looking for even better luck this afternoon. And that actually, that is us there, in the background. So we're bringing the action from Dunsmore this afternoon, and indeed from most of the, well, loads, I'm going to use the word loads of the point-to-point fixtures taking place in this heartland area. Isn't that great? Imagine how long those trees have been here, and bring you loads of action for this heartland point-to-point area in the coming months. I think the last fixture is in early June, so lots to enjoy. And you will be able to get details of the Angel scheme. This is a scheme whereby you can pay £75. Oh, that's great! The signal for the horses now to go down towards the starting point. For £75, you can get a package which covers the whole season. Well, Chris Clapham, as I say, describing the action for us this afternoon, and he's just going to describe the horses leaving the paddock and making their way to the starting point for race 1 at Dunsmore this afternoon.
Is number 4, Lambristo, the man of Chloe Emsley. She's in the colours of dark blue and light blue hoops, with the light blue Diablo on the sleeves carrying a hooped cap. Following her out is Hollywood's Hills, number 3 on your race card, the man of James King, black with a pink star, black sleeves with the grey armlets, black cap and a grey star. Following him down then is number 5, Park This One, the man of Josh Newman, dark blue with a green star, Diablo on the sleeves, dark blue cap with a green star also on the cap. Then number 2, Captain Westy, the man of Will Biddick, yellow with a green hoop, green sleeves, green yellow stars and a green cap with a white star on the cap. And last to post is number 1, Arctic Poet, the man of Martin McIntyre, brown with the orange epaulettes and a star on the cap. That is your 5 runners and riders going to post for our first race of the afternoon, and it is the Goffs UK 4 and 5 year olds maiden race, and again very kindly sponsored by Goffs UK.
So, shots of the runners having a look at the first of the obstacles in this race, and a few discussions down at the starting point as well. A couple of our leading riders of last year there, James King this side on Hollywood's Hills. That was a remarkable season he had. Obviously Will Biddick getting injured might have made a bit of a difference, and the pandemic clearly made a difference to the whole thing, but he and Jason Warner, who supplied so many of his winners, Jason with I think 14 winners last year as well, leading owner, what a remarkable time they had. But Chloe Emsley as well had a really good time in this part of the world, and it was great to see her really emerge, and to have seen her racing elsewhere. Seen her racing over recent weeks, certainly at Worcester, I think at Cheltenham not so very long ago as well. So yeah, great to see Chloe emerging as another of the younger riders that does so well, having started off their life in the Devon and Cornwall area, and making an impression on an even bigger stage. There's Captain Westy arriving there. So the bumper he finished second in Ireland. The winner, which won easily, has won again since, and the horse that finished third, and he was well clear of the third, has won a couple of times since. So the form of that horse, pretty good. And there's Arctic Poet as well. Arctic Poet hasn't got quite such fancy form. We'll see how things emerge. Hollywood's Hills, racecourse debut there for that one. That's Hollywood's Hills with the noseband there in the centre. Being a 4-year-old, decent weight advantage. Lambristo in the mix of blues, the brown colours then of Arctic Poet. Captain Westy, the yellow and the green. So the two principles that are principles in the betting are there for obvious reasons. Let's just bring Mike Drown in very quickly to update us on the betting just before the off.
Yeah, Captain Westy remains the same at 1-2, and Hollywood's Hill is now out to 5-2.
So say that again.
Captain Westy remains at 1-2.
1-2.
And Hollywood's Hill is now out to 5-2.
So there's quite a lot of confidence behind.
Yeah.
And just running the other ones, Arctic Poet, what sort of price?
Arctic Poet 14-1.
Lambristo
14-1.
Park This One.
Park This One is now 4-1.
4-1.
Yeah.
Excellent. So there's a lot of confidence that Captain Westy is going to run a very big race here. That one in the yellow and green in the centre of your picture, but inevitably Hollywood's Hills, with a combination of the posts, the ex Fran Nimmo on the race card now as Francesca Post, formerly Francesca Nimmo. That the fact that one has come down to Devon from a powerful stable in the Midlands is obviously considered by some to be a good indicator as well. I think some of these other ones not without a chance. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see Part This One that runs in the Josh Newman rides in the dark blue with the green star, running quite well. Flags raised then, ready to go for the opener of the point-to-point season in Devon and Cornwall. Chris Clapham to describe it.
Fence number 1, which will come up fairly quick here, and all over it safely. Arctic Poet was just out to the right and a little bit untidy, and he takes the back marker position as they head on. And Lambristo it is, and Chloe Emsley pulling quite hard in the lead. Captain Westy on the inside already at fence number 2, and again Arctic Poet just got into the top of it and lost a couple of lengths. Martin McIntyre in the plate, and now they're pretty much an Indian file, but very, very hard held at the moment. In the lead is Lambristo, and Chloe Emsley as they quickly head on down the hill towards fence number 3. Captain Westy has settled beautifully in second for Will Biddick. Then back in third we've got Hollywood's Hills, and racing in company with Park This One. They are 3 and 4 side by side now, and the back marker is Arctic Poet, who jumped the third a lot better. But already about 15 lengths between first and last, as this Lambristo is quite keen to get on with the job out front by about 3 or 4 lengths now to Captain Westy back in second. Pace just steadied as they've hit the bottom of the hill. And this is fence 4. It's the ditch. They jump all the fences here 3 times. They've got 3 times round. It's pretty much complete 3 times around the circuit, and all over the ditch well. So Lambristo it is, leading them along, just comes wide off the turn there. Lambristo concedes a few lengths to Captain Westy. Still the 2 in behind, Park This One and Hollywood Hills racing in company with other chairing 3 and 4. And Arctic Poet now nearly making it a line of 3 in behind them to in 5th in those brown colours. So up they come back towards us in this beautiful ground here. The course is looking excellent, and they pass us for the first time. So 2 complete circuits they've got, and pace quite generous, I would say. Lambristo it is, who leads by a fraction now to the favourite, Captain Westy. Open 2-1 on, but quite easy to back. You could get 5-4 on at the off. A little bit money for Park This One, who's the third favourite, over the next one, and again all over it safely. Arctic Poet's jumping certainly warmed up and jumping a lot better, and now he's within about 4 or 5 lengths of the lead. And that leader now is Captain Westy, who's taken it on by about a length and a half, downhill fence from Lambristo and Chloe Emsley now back in second. Park This One and Hollywood Hills have raced pretty much in unison throughout the contest. Back in 3 and 4 downhill, and they've just got 4 or 5 lengths now away from Arctic Poet down in 5. So downhill they go, and the favourite under Will Biddick is in front in the opener here by about 3 or 4 lengths. Long way to go over it. In front, Hollywood Hills is the one in the noseband on the inside under James King. He's travelling in just fractional advantage in second over Josh Newman on his outside, and Park This One, who's only pretty much racing alongside. They've got 2 or 3 lengths lead over Arctic Poet, who's now relegated Lambristo, the early leader, to the back marker position. She's just beginning to lose touch, Chloe Emsley, on Lambristo. She is now good 10 lengths and beginning to toil in the back marker position. Ditch for the second time then. Leader just reached for it fractionally. He's in front by about a length now only. Park This One's moved stylishly up on the outside and under Josh Newman, still travelling well. Hollywood Hills has taken the shortest route all the way under James King, back in third. Arctic Poet happy to watch on from the back under Martin McIntyre in fourth, but he's just a little bit more detached than he probably wants, and he gets a slap down the neck for his troubles. Lambristo has been pulled up before that plain fence, so we're down to 4, and Captain Westy just got into the top of it. A bit of an untidy jump. He's been a bit lowered at some of his fences, but he's still in front by about a length. Park This One is up on his outside in second. Shake of the Reins in behind for Hollywood Hills. First time on a race course for him under James King, and he gets a slap down the back as well as they go out onto the final circuit. The pace has been pretty searching. They haven't relented from the flag fall. Captain Westy, we've lost another one. Arctic Poet has been pulled up out the race. We're down to 3 already. They're out into the countryside for the final time. Downhill they go. Captain Westy it is then, by about a length and a half. Downhill fence again. He's just a little bit into the top of it. Second then, Park This One, and now driven along in behind him is Hollywood Hills under James King. A pretty strong drive. He's getting lower and lower in the saddle, back in third. They're the only 3 still standing. Downhill they go then. And another plain fence before the ditch. Captain Westy beginning to open up by 2 or 3 lengths as he comes towards it now. Plain fence in those yellow colours. He's over safely. He's sailed over that one much better than the rest. The other 2 beginning to toil in behind. Park This One then back in a clear second, and Hollywood's Hills doesn't seem to be picking him up at all for a strong driving under James King, back in third. They've been going pretty hard at the pace throughout, so let's see if we can see it back up this long hill. Down the bottom of the course then, Captain Westy by about a length and a half. Park This One has not gone away. He's still very much on the premises under Josh Newman. The ditch for the final time. Again, Captain Westy is over clear, but he's only a length. Park This One beginning to range up on him. I think you can forget Hollywood's Hills. He's now 25 lengths detached, and James King seems to have given up the ghost. Up towards the second last then. Captain Westy in front, comes towards it now. He's over safely. Park This One down by about a couple of lengths. He's now asking everything. Josh Newman on the run to the final fence then, and Captain Westy, he's over. Oh, he got into the top of it, just released a few lengths. Park This One, will he get one last lunge at him? Captain Westy, Biddick's all out. Park This One's coming hard, and Park This One's going past him. Park This One's going to win it. Park This One wins from Captain Westy in second, and they will be the only 2 to finish.
The new season in the Devon and Cornwall area. Number 5, Park This One. You know, I don't want to be boastful, but I did say just before the race, I thought this would go better perhaps than could be anticipated. There were 2 who were the sort of ones that everybody was concentrating on beforehand. Let's just see if he'll come back into the picture here. There we are. Park This One. And this 4-year-old, so a weight advantage as with Hollywood Hills. £7 allowance, a £7 difference, £7 allowance given to the 4-year-old. And this horse, Park This One, trained by Neil McLean. Well done to the Shannon Lodge Racing Club, to them as well. Ran 3rd at Cottlestone in May, and looked quite green and inexperienced on debut at Trebudanon. But this horse has clearly learnt plenty, and there on the right of your picture there, the dark colours with the green star, that is our winner of the first race of the afternoon. Tremendous race as well. We'll have a look at the closing stages for you in just a moment, but going out onto the final circuit. There were just 3 left in it. Then Hollywood Hills came under quite strong pressure, and we can pick up the replay now so we can see just how this was done. So you can see Hollywood Hills is at the back now. Captain Westy in front at the second last, jumps that really well, and better, in fact, than the winner, Park This One. Park This One is responding generously to Josh Newman's urgings. Here's the last, where the leader was not tidy. Will Bidditt looks around. He wouldn't have been pleased with what he saw, and Newman has really got Park This One going, and comes to take it off the odds-on favourite in the shadows of the post, with just not that many strides still to go. And that is a tremendous start to the season for Neil McLean, for Josh Newman. Josh, he missed the end of last season. He took a fall, didn't he? Can't remember where the fall was, but he took a fall towards the end of last season, so he missed the very end. And he has started in just the way that he would have wanted to. And a couple of rides here this afternoon. Look forward to seeing what else he has got. We can get some starting prices for our first race. Mike Drown is here. So it was first number 5, Park This One at
4 to 1.
4 to 1. And second number 2, Captain Westy at
1 off at 1 to 2.
1 to 2.
Yeah.
2 to 1 on.
Yeah.
So the odds-on favourite gets beaten there, and Park This One is the one, the 4-year-old. Another walk in the park is an extremely popular stallion, as we know in jump racing generally. And here's obviously he walk in the park produces progeny which do well at on even bigger stages than this, but a stallion to really always take into account when trying to consider races where there is relatively little to go on. So that is your first race of the afternoon. Happy shots of the paddock. Chloe Emsley there, probably trying to offer something in the centre of your picture there, something about her mount, Lambristo, but that dropped out very fast, having been much too keen early on, so that didn't go out onto the final circuit. And Arctic Poet was pulled up as well. Hollywood's Hills was beaten off with what I suppose half a mile to go, and then it turned out to be between the top two, and it was Captain Westy who looked as though it was going to be all about him, just not as tidy at the last as he might have been. And Park This One really had some momentum going, and Park This One has been able to park this success in the Goffs UK 4 and 5-year-olds maiden race, the first race, the 12 noon race. We'll have a look at the runners and riders for our next race in just a moment. I'll tell you that we are going to have 5 runners in the next race. In fact, we can look at them on the caption right now. Here we are. And this is the conditions race. This race kindly sponsored by Hell Tour for the Gerald Probert Memorial Trophy. And also the Tom Gray Memorial Cup will go to the first novice rider past the post. And here we have them. So the 1 and 2 don't go. 3 in arrears. Darren Edwards, leading rider in these parts last season again. Darren riding for his dad and his family in arrears. Number 3, a runner there. Number 4, Inch Rock. Pippa Glanville riding that one. Inch Rock, number 4. These are horses that we grow to love every year, don't we? And especially when they've got a great name like the Ibster. Number 6, the Ibster. Alex Goodman riding that one, and Alex is also the owner-trainer of the Ibster. The Rowstone is here. Well, the Rowstone, he's the winner, shouts one of the members of the Shannon family from a sedentary, I was just going to say from a sedentary position. That's what they would say in Parliament, but he's not very sedentary. He's moving very fast to do a piece of work on the course. But that one trained by Rob Channin, and the Channin family, whether it's Rob, whether it's Norman, all of them really, very heavily involved with this particular point-to-point and with the Silverton Hunt. And the Rowstone, trained by Rob Channin, ridden by Fly McIntyre, Martin McIntyre, riding in the colours of Andrew and Sue Knox, who are such significant players in these parts. And then we've got number 8, Thumbstone Blues, the great Thumbstone Blues, who had such a fabulous season last year. If you're looking at the form 1, 1, 1, 1. 4 ones for Thumbstone Blues last season. It should be noted, didn't win first time out though. So we'll have a look at Thumbstone Blues in a moment. James King riding. James also trains Thumbstone Blues, qualified via the Cotswold Vale Farmers, and James riding in the colours of Jason Warner. Gosh, Chloe has just finished her thoughts to those involved with her mount in the last race, Lambristow, and off she goes to get herself ready for the remaining races. We're going to have a presentation in just a moment, and then we'll catch up and have a word with the winning rider, Josh Newman, before too long. So this point-to-point area, Devon and Cornwall area, I always call it the heartland of point-to-points. You know, I always think that's not a fact; it's an opinion. And certainly this area, with its enthusiasm for equine, all equines, for horse racing under rules, for point-to-point racing, for countryside pursuits as well, and Devon and Cornwall, something of a heartland for point-to-pointing. We were due to start the season just the other day, just the other day at Ottery St Mary, but we won't overdo that because it was flooded. But we're back here today, and then the next fixture will be we go to Wadebridge towards the beginning of December. I think it's December the 5th. And then that's it for this year, but resume again at Wadebridge in January, so very much looking forward to that. Right, here is the official result for our opening race of the afternoon, and it was won by number 5, Park. This won at 4-1, and second was number 2, Captain Westy, who was the 2-1 on favourite. Will Biddick riding that. The time 6 minutes 17 seconds, and the official distance was 2 lengths. Quick word about Shannon Lodge Racing and that syndicate which owned the winner. Ivan Thompson organises that. It came from the 2020 store sales, and it's for sale. That's important. Only 4 years old, as is pointed out, and hasn't won the worst maiden ever. You know, that wasn't a bad race. There were a couple of well-fancied horses in the field, but Park this one, the son of Walk in the Park, has come through to beat both of them, and that was quite a nice performance. We'll hear perhaps from the winning rider in just a few moments' time. I know they want to make a presentation, but yeah, I think you can see them in the distance there over. In the distance for a presentation, but we'll hopefully hear from some of those involved in a few moments' time. Let's have a thought about our supporters here at Dunsmore Club this afternoon. Mark Tracy and James Weeks, they farm this area, or this bit of land, so we're very grateful to them for allowing the point-to-point to take place. And in terms of supporters, well, Goffs supported that first race of the afternoon. And I'll tell you what we will be talking about with some excitement later on is the sponsors of the Mixed Open Series, Ineos Grenadier. It's our race 4, the Ineos Grenadier Mixed Open Race at 1:45. Very much looking forward to that, and really excited about Ineos Automotive supporting point-to-point racing in the during the coming season. So excited to have them with us. But we'd also like to thank Bateman Hosegood, who are giving out prizes to winning grooms today. Ex-Valley Farm Shop to winning owners. Newperfeed to the winning trainer. A prize for the winning jockey of each race has been generously sponsored by Paul Courtney of Courtney's Cider. Now I'm guessing what the prize might be, so therefore that sounds good. The jumps are sponsored by the Lamb Inn at Silverton and Stringer Equine. And you know, this is an important paragraph in the race card, that our thanks to the team of vets for providing veterinary cover, and to Ray Mounts for the horse ambulance service for the meeting. We also need to thank the racecourse at Newton Abbot for its assistance, and the Point-to-Point Committee is very grateful to the honorary surgeons who are here today. So that gives you a view, and I know that it's people not just in the southwest of England, but around Britain, around Ireland, and indeed around the world, as we discovered last year, who are following the action from here. That just gives you an idea of the setting. I was going to say, can we just go back to that previous shot? So the fence you can see in the distance, that is the second last, and then you come definitely down from that one, and then you get the last over there, so you've had to come uphill again over the last, and then you gradually come up, and this area on the right hand side of your screen, it's definitely reasonably examining at that point of the race, particularly at the end, and fortunes can change, as we discovered in our first race this afternoon. Well, we might turn our cameras onto the paddock now, because the first of the runners is in the paddock for our second race this afternoon, and it's number 4, Inch Rock, which is in the paddock. There's Inch Rock, and the other horses are being urged to come to the start. So that's our one horse in the paddock so far, and this is Robin Gundry's horse, Inch Rock, 13-year-old by Badbury, qualified via the East Devon, owned and trained by Robin. 13 years old, so something of a veteran. Has won some races and got decent form in defeat, and has some nice form here and there over the years. Best of last season was when runner-up to Moscow Prices in a ladies' open race at Bratton Down at the end of May. Pippa Glanville's going to be riding, and that's some lovely shots there of Inch Rock. Oh, lovely to we'll give you a little wave back. Thanks very much indeed. So just going past there is Thumbstone Blues, and behind Thumbstone Blues is In Arrears, but let's see if the middle of those three, if we can concentrate on Thumbstone Blues. We'll get some betting in a second, and we'll discover that Thumbstone Blues is pretty prominent in the betting. James King trains, Jason Warner the owner, and James will be riding as well, our national champion point-to-point rider of last season. And Thumbstone Blues had a disappointing run at Ottery this time last year, and then won a whole lot of races. Well, we'll look more at the horses in just a second, but let's speak to one of the successful rider from the first race. It was Josh Newman on part this one. Well done. I just had a feeling you'd run all right.
Yeah, I didn't want to make it by any means, and then it didn't look like no one wanted to make it, and then there was two people that went on, and Will didn't want it to be a crawl, so he ended up taking the mantle up from Chloe, and we went just a nice gallop, which probably suited mine.
Yeah, but and then the horse James King was riding, that dropped away. So, and then there were two.
Yeah, I just thought first time out he was niggling with a circuit to go.
Yeah.
Ideally, you're not wanting to be doing that. So
no.
I thought he was beat at the time, but you never know, do you?
Yeah.
First time out, so they can run on. So.
And then getting to those closing stages, Captain West is in front, but you were always going pretty nicely.
He does his best work at the end, so if you use it
as he demonstrated.
Yeah. If you use it too soon, he won't finish off well. So it's kind of sit and suffer, just wait, bind your time, and you're good enough if you're good enough. Sort of coming up over. I wanted to get around the last bend, and I took a lead over the last two and sort of really got after him after the last.
Because watching from here, it did look as though Captain West, he was odds-on favourite, and with all his connections, Tom Malone and
yeah,
Will
of course,
and
that's
great form.
like you say, it's the
But
trainer
you were
owner.
Always, but I just love the way you were. You know, the eye was drawn to you as well on your mount.
Yeah, no, he's all right. He's still green, but he's honest, and he does gallop all the way to the line. So very nice.
And for you, what a way to start the season in this part of the world.
Yeah, first rider this season. So yeah, good to start.
And you missed the end of it. You got injured, didn't you? So you missed the end of last season.
Unfortunately, I took a bad fall at the Middle Bratton, and that was sort of my season over. So.
Right. So good to start this, and I've seen you in action during the summer as well.
Yeah, a little bit. That's
under
not
rules.
gone so well, is it? So, but no, it's a nice. It's a relief to get a winner and start the season off well. And he's a nice horse, and whether he'll run again, he's for sale. So
yeah. Well, we've had the owners are keen to.
He could be.
He's only 4, isn't he?
He is 4, and his first run last year at Trebidanan, he was a late foal. So actually, I think he'd technically only been 4 for about a week when he ran, and
it was quite a hottish race.
It was a horrible race, if I'm honest. There was a lot of pace. It was on good ground, and they went hell for leather. And he just sort of, from being a keen horse at home, trying to lean on me, and then being completely outpaced and green, he crapped himself a little bit, I'd say. So.
But then he ran all right. Then he finished 3rd somewhere. Didn't
he ran well at Cottlestone. He had a little look at the first one down the back after the lorries, and it lost me a good bit of ground. But the winners are gone, but he stayed on to beat the rest.
Well, look, well done. Great start. Let's bring Neil McLean, the winning trainer, in as well very briefly before we look at the runners for the next race. Well done to Josh. Come in nice and close to the mic, Neil. Well done.
Thank you very much. It was nice.
This is a nice performance.
He's a dear and lovely horse, and he just stays and stays, and hopefully he'll come on for that run, because he's only 4-year-old now. He only turned 4 in the spring.
So entering those closing stages, Captain West is odds-on favourite and in front. Were you always thinking?
Between the last 2, I thought we're catching, and when he jumped the last 2 strides after, I said we're going to win this.
Yeah.
Because and there's a nice long run in here, which does
well suited you.
Suited us. That's right.
Yeah.
So and he is a dear, lovely horse.
So when you say, I love it when people say dear, lovely horse. So what does he do?
He's kind. He's kind, lovely. He's lovely in the stable. He can do anything with. The kids can go in with him and anything.
Right.
So he's just a nice gent.
and he is for sale, and he's won actually. He's
won and beating a Malone horse.
Yeah, absolutely. yeah, excellent. And what about you for this season? Looking forward to it?
Yes, we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot better than last season. Let's be honest, can't be worse.
Let's have lots of fixtures.
That's right. So it's good. So I'm pleased that we're all going ahead again, and and hopefully we won't have a truncated season like we did last season. So.
Well done on great start.
Thank
you. Have you got anything else today?
Pardon?
Anything else today?
Yes, in the last we've got Evron.
Evron, of course.
Amazing.
Oh, I can't wait to see Evron. He's got some very interesting form. Lovely. All right. Thanks very much for joining us.
Much.
Very quick. Let's bring Ivan Thompson in very quickly from the Shannon Lodge.
Good afternoon.
Syndicate. Good afternoon. The horse is for sale.
Well, that was the plan. We bought him Doncaster. It's very confusing because the May sale was in June or July or something.
Yeah.
We bought him in. He's only a 4-year-old. He's by the right sire.
Too right.
He's done his job well today.
He's won an okay race in nice style. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a very professional fella. He's never missed a day's work.
Right.
He's turned up every day for work.
Yeah.
He does what you ask him.
And he's dear and what was it? Dear and kind as your trader. Yeah.
Yeah, he's lovely. And he's just a professional.
So when you say he's for sale, will he actually go to a sale, or are you open to offers?
Open to offers, or hopefully we'll go. We'll see what sales houses offers.
Right.
But he's got a lovely page, and he's done that well today, and he's only ever improved. His first run they went 1,000,000 miles an hour. We pulled him up. It was just going to be the ruination of him. Time is what they need sometimes, and then.
As Josh was pointing out, he was only just 4
late.
at the time.
He's a late 4-year-old. So we give him time. We ran him again for a bit of experience. And he ran really well. He finished 3rd, and he was the horse to take out that race. And coming here today, we were kind of confident, though. Everybody's talking up the Malone horse and the post horse, but
Yeah. Well
you have
done.
To take them on,
I'll tell you what. I'm going to have to cut you short because we need to see the horses
lovely.
for the next. But lovely to see you, and well done to Ivan after that success. Right, runners making their way to the starting point. So Chris Clapham is describing them doing that for us.
So horses already on the way to the start for our second race of the afternoon. It is the conditions race, and kindly sponsored by Hell Tour. First one that's gone down is number 8. It is Thumbstone's Blues, the man of James King, red with the light blue diamonds, half sleeves carrying a red cap. Then follows number 6, the Ibster, the man of Alexandra Goodman, black with a white star, black sleeves, white stars and a black cap, and white stars on the cap. The one that's just a little bit reluctant to go down to start is number 7, the Rowstone, the man of Martin McIntyre, orange and green quarters with the green sleeves, orange armlets and an orange cap. And then we've got Inch Rock, number 4 on your race card, the man of Pippa Glanville, black with the cerise sleeves, carrying a pink cap. And then number 3, In Arrears, the man of Darren Edwards, scarlet with the emerald green sleeves, black and green hooped cap. Again, we have 5 runners and riders going to post, and it is again over 3 miles. 18 fences are going to jump for the conditions race, and again, kindly sponsored by Heltor.
Right, well, let's bring Mike Drown in to run us down the odds for this race.
Yeah, the Rowstone 8-5, Thumbstone Blues 8-11, 20 to 1 the Ibster, 5 to 1 Inch Rock, 9 to 2 In Arrears.
Okay, so In Arrears at 9 to 2.
Yeah.
Inch Rock, just tell me Inch Rock again.
5 to 1.
The Ibster,
20 to 1.
the Rowstone,
8 to 5.
and Thumbstone Blues,
8 to 11.
11 to 8 on favourite. Thanks to Mike for the update. And there is, oh, that's not Thumbstone Blues, that's Inch Rock right in the centre of your picture, and now right in the centre of the picture, the horse with the dark colours, that's the Ibster, and the horse is assembling at the starting point, just looking for our favourite here, number 8, Thumbstone Blues. There he is, Thumbstone Blues. So after a disappointing run at Ottery this time last year, thrived in the spring, won at Higham, at Aldington, at Mollington and Cottlestone. Front runner or leads most of the way. Particularly striking, I think, at Mollington when conceding weight and beating Green Winter. So that's our favourite. The other one we definitely need to find is the Rowstone. And the Rowstone, there he is. The orange and green quartered colours. Easy to spot during the race. And the Rowstone, what a lovely horse this is. He's a 7-year-old. He seems to have been around a bit, but he's only 7. He's by Vinnie Rowe, trained by Rob Channin for Andrew and Sue Knox. Won over the course and distance the restricted race in 2019. Tiny bit fortunate that day. The main rival blundered away his chance at the third last, but still won in nice style. Goes well fresh and got up close home to beat the subsequent dual winner Bridge of Spies on his seasonal debut at Cherrybrook in April. Wasn't quite so good afterwards, both times at Upcut Cross, but he's a lovely horse, the Rowstone, and he's the one in the green and the orange. There's Thumbstone Blues. Number 3 there, In Arrears. Good to see Darren Edwards back in the Devon and Cornwall area. There's the Rowstone, Thumbstone Blues. In the background there, the Ibster, the quite dark colours. There's Inch Rock, the veteran, popular veteran as well. And the starter just getting them organised at the start. In Arrears there. Darren Edwards, who rides In Arrears. Another really solid season for him last year. And what a popular figure he's been in point-to-pointing in the West Country for so long now. In the red colours with the green sleeves. Do like the Rowstone. First time out, but inevitably Thumbstone Blues is odds-on favourite. Jason Warner, the owner. Best wishes to him. James King rides. He also trains this horse. Reminder that as well as riding all those winners last season, James trained a decent number as well. And the horse looking in good shape today. I just praise in the back of my mind that first time out last season he was well beaten, but then he had that great run during the spring. Whilst in contrast, the Rowstone started off well and then wasn't quite so good afterwards. I suspect it's a 2-horse race, but In Arrears. It's won 3 point-to-points, couple of chases under rules as well, but not for a couple of years now. May 2019 won a 3-runner hunter chase at Exeter, but it was in good style. Plenty of ability, but never got going in the 2021 rules season. Most recently was staying on in 4th place at Chepstow. Always a plus point to have Darren Edwards in the saddle. But equally, Thumbstone Blues is James King. Inch Rock with Pippa Glanville. The Ibster with Alex Goodman. and Martin McIntyre. Not Michael McIntyre, he was on TV last night. Martin McIntyre, Fly McIntyre on the Rowstone. So flags are raised, ready to go for race 2. Here we go.
First time. And the Ibster missed the break completely. About 8 lengths she's conceded at the leaders will head towards the first of 18 fences and all cleared over safely. But a fair gap between first and last. The Ibster not really overly keen to get on with things and is already 20 lengths detached from the front runners, who are Inch Rock and Thumbstone's Blue. Inch Rock jumped up into the lead there under Pippa Glanville by about half a length to Thumbstone Blues in second, already trapping on down the hill. Then about a 5 or 6 lengths gap back to Darren Edwards on In Arrears. And then we got Martin McIntyre on the Rowstone. And just beginning to catch him up from the back is the Ibster and Alexandra Goodman. Already on to fence number 3, and another strong pace being set by Inch Rock. He's out in front. Good jumps by all there as they continue down the side of the hill. And out front then, Inch Rock it is by about half a length under Pippa Glanville. Up on his inside then is the favourite, Thumbstone Blues. Easy to back again, very similar betting market to the first one. The favourite, very easy to back, 4 to 6 it opened. Could even money at the off. Travelling quite kindly at the moment for James King, having his second ride of the afternoon. Money for the seconds and third favourites, who are In Arrears, who's back in second. And the Rowstone, who's back in fourth, settled on the inside under Martin McIntyre. And still the Ibsters just the back marker, but got a lot closer as they now begin to come back towards the crowd here at Dunsmore. Over the next plain fence, pretty good jumps all round. They come to what will be the last in 2 complete circuits time. So coming towards it, Inch Rock just a fractional advantage now. Ibster's pulled his way nearly to the front rank. Up on the inside then is the Thumbstone Blues under James King. Then In Arrears, who's just sat tidily in behind the front rank, and Martin McIntyre happy to watch on now from the back under the Rowstone, back in fifth, but only 3 or 4 lengths off the lead. They now turn that corner and another plain fence awaits them pretty quick here over that plain one, and all over it safely. The Rowstone was just a little bit deliberate in the back marker position, now about 6 lengths off the lead. But it is Inch Rock, 13 years young Inch Rock, leading them along. Another plain fence they come to, and over it safely. The Ibster up on the outside under Alexandra Goodman, the outsider of the 5, travels in second. Thumbstone Blues then back in third on the inside. In Arrears and Darren Edwards is happy to watch back in fourth, settled really well. And then the Rowstone 5 now 6 lengths off the lead, down towards the next plain fence. And pace just eased a little bit as they go towards it. Inch Rock over it safely. The Ibster, Thumbstone Blues. The Rowstone again just gives away a couple of lengths at the back of the field. Little bit of a slap down the neck there from Martin McIntyre, just to latch onto the back of the main group. Doesn't want to get detached in the early stages. In Arrears still happy to travel on the inside of runners back and forth. The Ibster's just beginning to weaken back. They're on the turn at the bottom of the hill then, and they'll face up to the ditch for the second time. And still Inch Rock, who's made pretty much every yard so far, leads by about a length and a half. Thumbstone Blues has always gone the shortest way up the inside. In Arrears was back in fourth there, just reaching for it. The Ibsters up on the outside of Thumbstone Blues back in third. And the Rowstone continues to whip them in back in fifth, now 7 or 8 lengths off the leader. That leader then is Inch Rock. Down the middle of the course, Pippa Glanville has jumped beautifully out in front so far. Has had it pretty much her own way as well as they come towards the next plain fence. This will be the last in a circuit's time. Over it safely. The Ibsters up on the outside. On the inside then is Thumbstone Blues, In Arrears, and the Rowstone. So blanket over them with a circuit to travel, and Inch Rock with his ears pricked going to lead them out into the final circuit. Thumbstone Blues, James King's arms just a little bit moving now on the inside for favourite backers. He's now back in second. The Ibsters drop back to third. In Arrears trying to get up the inside of the Ibster to take that third, and the Rowstone, whose jumping hasn't been inch perfect, is back in fifth and just getting a bit of a ride now from Martin McIntyre back in the field. But over the next plain fence, they descend down the hill. Pace will pick up here, and James King has sent the favourite up the inside of Inch Rock. So Thumbstone Blues now and Inch Rock match strides. Pace has quickened as they go down the side of the hill for the final time, but Inch Rock, who's had a pretty cosy lead throughout, is still ears pricked and just with a fractional advantage over the next plain one then, and reaching for it there was In Arrears and Darren Edwards, who's pretty much flat to the boards down the side of the course in third. The Rowstone stayed on in fourth, is now about 3 or 4 lengths behind them, and then the Ibsters beginning to weak away back in fifth. They're on the turn then at the bottom of the course. Thumbstone Blues has the lead, but he's got 3 of them itching at his feet here. Inch Rock up on the outside, still bang there under Pippa Glanville. Darren Edwards is very, very animated back in third on In Arrears and really trying hard just to maintain the position. The Rowstone similarly getting a proper ride now from Martin McIntyre back in fourth. You can forget the Ibster back in fifth, 10 lengths adrift. On the turn back towards us, Inch Rock then is back for more on the down the centre of the course in those pink sleeves. Thumbstone Blues has got it all to do. They land as one over that. In Arrears giving plenty back in third. The Rowstone just can't get on terms in fourth. Down towards the final fence, jumping all important now. Inch Rock lands in front, jumped it well enough. Thumbstone Blues, it's In Arrears trying to come hard at her now, and In Arrears has taken it up. In Arrears just from gonna get up here. It's In Arrears by about half a length, and In Arrears just going on. In Arrears wins it under Darren Edwards. Pippa Glanville second for Inch Rock. Back in third are staying on the Rowstone, then the Ibster, and Thumbstone Blues weakened right away.
So, there's our winner. Said that plenty of times about the rider on top. In Arrears just showed signs at a couple of points in the race that this was first time out, but my goodness, he responds well, doesn't he, to the urgings of his rider. As somebody just said to me here, you do well to beat Darren Edwards in a tight finish, and that's absolutely right. Terrific horse, that. In Arrears. She's a mare by Beneficial, qualified via the Devon and Somerset Staghounds, owned and trained by the Edwards family, Gordon Edwards and Darren, his son. Plenty of success over the years, but not for a bit, and that's our winner. Back to us at the moment, the red with the green sleeves. Some good runs elsewhere as well, and the Rowstone has flown through the closing stages. We can have a look at them now, the closing stages of this one. But the talking point, I suppose, is Thumbstone Blues, which is in second there, the odds-on favourite, as we pick it up, and they head on towards the second last. And look at Darren's having to work hard. They're coming uphill now towards the final fence. Darren Edwards and In Arrears working hard. They're in the air together. Big run from the veteran Inch Rock as well, but Darren is not for being thwarted at this stage of the proceedings, and has come home the winner by a length and a half, maybe a little bit further. We'll get the official verdict from the judge shortly. And there's Thumbstone Blues, who weakened rapidly in the closing stages. The horse is coming back into the paddock. Thing about Thumbstone Blues, if you're a fan of that one, disappointed first time out last season and then had a terrific time in the spring. So I wonder whether the same might happen this season. We will find out. But it's In Arrears who's come home the winner. Inch Rock, the 13-year-old, has run an absolute cracker in second under Pippa Glanville. Well done to them. Rowstone ran a funny sort of race, really. Jumping wasn't as good as it might have been on occasions. Absolutely showed tremendous acceleration from 4 out, over 3 out and down towards 2 out, and then just sort of kept on in the closing stages. And actually, Thumbstone Blues has faded to be last of the 5. We can bring Mike Drown in now with the starting prices on this race. So we've got the bookmakers have got an odds-on favourite beaten in the first race, and they've got an odds-on favourite well beaten in the second race.
Yeah, great start for the bookies. The punters are going to have to up their game, aren't they?
Yeah. So what price was our winner there then in arrears?
Our winner went off. Starting price was 4-1 for in arrears.
4-1 in arrears, and our runner-up was Inch Rock.
5-1 for Inch Rock.
Right. Good. It was you actually who said to me earlier on, not bad for this horse, not bad for a 13-year-old, is it?
No, exactly. It's nice to see him still enjoying themselves at 13, isn't it? So
yeah. And quick word, Mike, you as a stalwart of the Devon and Cornwall area, Darren Edwards, leading rider or nearly leading rider year in year out, and he's quite a guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. And as they jumped up sides at the last, I thought Pippa's going to have to do well to beat him, because there aren't many stronger jockeys in the finish than Darren, and he's got his season off to a good start, hasn't he? So.
And he was our leading rider again, wasn't he, last season?
Yeah.
That was good. That was a great start for the Edwards family as such, stalwarts as well. Thanks very much. We'll get more betting from Mike in a few moments' time as he brings us news of the betting for the Dunsmore conditions race for veteran and novice riders. Race 3 at 1:10, the race kindly sponsored by Angela Prowse, Mortgage and Protection Advisor. I can tell you we haven't got the full list just yet. We'll have it very shortly, but there are going to be 5 runners in our next race here at Dunsmore this afternoon. There in the centre of your picture, the green and orange colours, Fly McIntyre just walking away, having offered thoughts about that horse's performance to the owners and trainer. Just a little bit disappointed by him today, but he's a good old horse, and will not that old. What is he, 7? He's a good horse, and I'm sure we'll be seeing him back in the winners' enclosure before too long. So those are the scenes in the winners' enclosure at Dunsmore. We'll be talking to our new sponsors of the Mixed Open Series in a few moments' time. But let's just check on the runners and riders for this next race. They're confirmed for us now. Bridge of Spies is back. Really looking forward to seeing Bridge of Spies. Charlie Sprake is the rider on board this one. Such a credit to George Bealby, who owns and trains Bridge of Spies. So that's number 1. Number 2 is Broad Clist, and Anna Johnston riding that one. 3, Caddo George, the mount of Polly Kilgore. 4, Guerrilla Tactics, Finn Muirhead riding for his family as well on that one. And 5, Moratorium, Nathan Green, the rider on that one. Talking of riders, let's say hi to the Devon and Cornwall area's leading rider of last season, and goodness knows how many other seasons, and the winner of the last race, Darren Edwards. Well done.
Yeah, thanks very much, Billy.
That was a terrific race to watch.
Yeah, it was a nice race to ride in, to be honest. Probably sort of 5 horses of similar ability, which is all you can sort of really ask for. Yes, the favourite had standout form, but James placed him very well last year, and he
didn't win first time out, did he?
Yeah, he doesn't look the easiest ride, in fairness to James. So yeah, my mare, she's not short of ability. I finished 3rd on her in a hunter chase around Ascot a couple of years ago to Virac, and she has lost her way big time. She's got sort of lots of female issues, is probably the best way of describing it. And yeah, she's very difficult. So Dad still loves a horse. And,
so real family horse.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's great. I love watching you when you can almost see the blood being up for you when you come into the closing stages like that.
Well, either that or I was running out of oxygen. I
don't think you were.
No, the way the race worked out, I tracked James and Pippa around the bottom, the 3rd last, and they just gave me a target up the straight. So then, almost a bit like sort of Fontwell, where you see horses sort of pull wide coming off the bend, and they sort of get the rail there, and and she liked having the horse to chase down.
Yeah, and Pippa was going to have to pull out something to get past you on the run.
Yeah, she rode a canning race on her horse, but my mare, like I say, she's not short of ability. She's just got issues, but.
And yet another season. How many winners? 300 plus winners now, and great to see you back again. Because there were rumours sort of last year that you might not go on for that much longer. But
well, I'm incredibly busy with work, Cornelius, and busy lifestyle away from racing. And I like to do things properly in life, and so if I'm not doing it 100%, then I'd rather not do it at all. So when
you say busy lifestyle, does that mean work?
Yeah, work. Yeah, very busy. Fisher German, who I'm a partner in that business. We employ 600 people now. So,
and you're on the side of your britches, so good sponsors of their staff as well. Yeah, and
we opened an office in Exeter about 12 months ago. So we're set up there now, just trying to grow the business down here. So, it's a challenge to fit everything in, and I've just recently moved house as well, which only sort of hasn't helped the weight anyway. So I was a few pounds overweight in that. So.
All right. Anyway, it's lovely to be back, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's great. And on a day like today and great weather, nice to see lots of people out. And I've never ridden here before, so it's my first ride here. And
what do you think?
Yeah, it's new courses. They always take a little while to bed in, but I know the Channing family have worked really hard, and lots of other people. So it'll take a year or two to bed in. It's a tight track. We nip around there. Racing here in April is going to be pretty rapid. I would say potentially.
But you're one from one so far.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, look, I'm lovely to see you back. Lovely to see the winning smile.
Yeah. All right. Thanks,
super. Well done. Lovely to see Darren Edwards here. Now, race 4 this afternoon is a very significant one for Point-To-Pointing in Devon and Cornwall, the Ineos Grenadier mixed open race, because Ineos and Ineos Grenadier, big sponsors for Point-To-Pointing nationwide this season. Delighted they're here today, and Ed Hood, who's the head of partnerships, has been good enough to join us now. Lovely to see you.
Good afternoon.
You brought the weather with you?
Yes.
As well as your lovely vehicles.
Actually, it's been a lovely day.
Come nice and close to the mic, Ed.
It's been a lovely day to head down here. Great to bring the vehicle down here. Great to show the vehicle to everyone here. It really is a vehicle that we've made with the guys here in mind. And
you launch it next year, is that right?
Absolutely, yeah. Reservations are open now.
So just tell us what it is very quickly for those who aren't.
It's a brand new 4x4 vehicle. We've been making it over the last 2 or 3 years. And it's designed with everyone here in mind. It's a combustion engine, so it's going to be great for those in the rural sector. It's got a great payload. It's going to tow really well. We believe, we've had the luxury of being able to develop it and have lots of great feedback from everyone involved.
And you're promoting yourself via Point-To-Pointing, which is fantastic.
Exactly that. So it's a great chance to come here, have a chat with the people in the rural sector, where they're farmers, game keepers, or just the rural sector, and kind of just get their thoughts and feedback on what the vehicle does and what it could do for them.
So Point-To-Pointing gave you a good road into the countryside in areas like Devon and Cornwall.
Exactly that. Yeah, we are a partner of 16 races this season with the Cheltenham final as well.
Yeah.
So whether you're in Wales, Scotland, Devon, England, there'll be a event that you can come see the vehicle.
And it's the open races that you're
exactly that.
So that's
Ineos Grenadier Open champion.
That's and I don't know what it feels like from your side. I feel really excited that an organisation like yours is getting into Point-To-Pointing.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're a partner in cycling and rugby, and even in F1 through our parent group. But also it is great to have a more grassroots, homegrown partnership as such, that we can get out there and actually have a chat with everyone on the ground. And
I noticed you've got a stand in a vehicle here today, and you will do it all the Point-To-Points?
Yeah, every one of those, and we'll have a variety of vehicles just for everyone to have a look inside, outside, understand what it could do for them.
And when's the launch next year?
March is when build slots are going out.
Right. And yeah. Excellent. Well, look, brilliant. We're really pleased to see you. Thank you for doing that, and best of luck with the whole series.
Super. Good stuff.
Super.
Cheers.
Excellent. Thanks very much indeed. And the Ineos Grenadier mixed open race is at 1:45, so that's race 4 this afternoon. We're coming towards race 3 this afternoon. And I can see, as you can see behind me, some horses in the paddock, so maybe we can switch on our cameras in the paddock area to see what we can see. There's number 4 for our next race, Guerrilla Tactics. And Guerrilla Tactics is an 11-year-old by Presenting. Camilla Scott trains this, qualified via the Tiverton Foxhounds. Alex Muirhead trains, and Finn, his son, is on board. Finn had his first winner, didn't he, last season at Bratton Down. He brings a posse of supporters with him, which means that there's plenty of celebrating, which is great. I'll tell you what, while we just look at the horse in the paddock, we can just confirm that last result in full. Won by number 3 in arrears with Darren Edwards, Inch Rock second with Pippa Glanville, and the Rowstone in third place. I wouldn't get, well, we're not going to give up on the Rowstone, but I would think that we'll see that one climbing a couple of places in future results. The Rowstone ridden by Fly McIntyre in third. Distances, what's that, 1.5 lengths and 4 lengths. Time of 6 minutes 32. And that sorts out the second of our 6 races. Gosh, we're a third of the way through the afternoon already in the sunshine at Dunsmore. But a real buzz about the place and real bit of excitement that we're here. That's Caddo George going through our picture, number 3. Oh, thank you to the groom who just holds up the number 3 for us, just to make absolutely certain that we can see. Thank you. Caddo George, a 12-year-old, and this one trained by Christy Kilgore, maiden race winner in 2013. So he's been around a bit. 2 runs last season were at Kimble and Edgecombe, both well behind, though actually he showed up for quite a while on each occasion. So that's 3 Caddo George. Look at those crowds, isn't that great? They're very pleased with the attendance here today. That's Broad Kleist, 9-year-old, by Ask, trained by Les Jefford, qualified via the East Devon, and Anna Johnson will be riding in the colours of Mrs Trump. First point-to-point run for nearly 3 years, when ran well at Wadebridge at the end of a good run. Plenty of runs under rules, no wins, but some solid form, including an excellent effort at Warwick, it was, I think, in April. It's Caddo George going through our picture once again. Les Jefford here today, ready to saddle Broad Kleist to put the rider on board. And that's Bridge of Spies. Now, I love Bridge of Spies for a lot of reasons. One of which is there are too many horses, in my opinion, in British racing with horrible names, and Bridge of Spies is not one of them. What a good name that is for a good horse as well. He's a 10-year-old. Look at those form figures from last season. Admittedly, pulled up first time, but then 2-1, 2-1. He's a real credit to George Beelby, qualified via the West Somerset. Pulled up on debut at Maysmore, that was in October, but then in great form from the return of racing at Easter at Cherrybrook. Do you remember he got mugged right on the line, very close to the finish by the Rowstone actually at Cherrybrook. Won at Fleet, big run at Honeycutt, and dead heated with Wes Wilmer at Bratton Down at the end of May. He's a proper horse, number 1, Bridge of Spies. Camera's just lost him for a second, but we'll re-find him in just a second. It's Guerrilla Tactics rider right in the centre of your screen, the orange with the sleeves. Over there, number 5 is Moratorium. Miles Osborne trains, come down from the South Midlands part of the world, qualified via the Heathrow, and Moratorium is an 8-year-old by Presenting. Used to be part of the Gordon Elliott, Denise Foster, Jigginstown Empire, 3-time winner, including in the most enormous maiden hurdle race at Navan. 29 runners, I think there were that day. Hasn't made so much impression in steeplechases, but encountered plenty of very soft ground. There is some soft ground here today, but there's plenty of good ground as well. Nathan Green riding. Possibly a bit luckless, raced at Killarney in July. And his rating under rules is pretty decent. So as you can see, the riders are being given the leg up gradually, as I'm joined by Mike Drown to give us the betting on this race. I love Bridge of Spies. What sort of price would I get Bridge of Spies? 9-4.
Yeah.
You might have to take over the programme. I think. Anyway, then we got number 2, Broadclise. What price?
6-4 now for Broadcliffe.
Really? Caddo George?
6-1 and 5-2 Guerrilla Tactics. 3-1 Moratorium.
3-1 number 5 Moratorium. Yeah. Super. Well, the horses are gradually making their way out. In fact, they're going to do, some of them anyway, are going to do another circuit of the track. Chris Clapham is our commentator here at Dunsmore this afternoon. A couple of odds-on favourites, couple of favourites that were odds-on turned over in our first races this afternoon. I wonder whether favourites are going to get back into the winner's enclosure this time around. So just for looking out for the horses, that's Bridge of Spies there on the right of the picture. Charlie Sprate riding on this occasion. The orange there of Guerrilla Tactics. Finn Muirhead riding Guerrilla Tactics number 4. Ran okay, went third in this last year. There was at Ottery. Ran okay, third. Then has other bits and pieces of decent form. Form with Rolling Dillon, who's done much better under rules of late. So the horses making their way out onto the course. Let's join Chris to describe them.
Dunsmore Conditions race for veteran and novice riders, and this race is very kindly sponsored by Angela Prowse, Mortgage and Protection Advisor. First one we see is number 1, Bridge of Spies, a man of Charlie Sprate, purple and sky blue sleeves and sky blue cap. Following him up is number 4, Guerrilla Tactics, the man of Finn Muirhead, orange with the light blue and dark blue diamonds on sleeves, similar cap. Then we've got number 5, Moratorium, the mount of Nathan Green, lime green with a yellow hoop sleeves carrying a yellow cap. Then follows number 3, Caddo George, the man of Polly Kilgour, yellow dark green hoop sleeves and a yellow cap with a dark green star on the cap. And the last one to post is number 2, Broadclist, the man of Anna Johnston. The colours are black with a white chevron, white armlets carrying a blue cap. So that is your 5 runners and riders that go to post for race number 3 on your race card. It is the Dunsmore Conditions race, and it is for veteran and novice riders. Kindly sponsored by Angela Prowse, Mortgage and Protection Advisor.
And it's just gone 1 o'clock. This race due off at 1:10, so they're down at the starting point in good time. There's Finn Muirhead in the orange colours there on Guerrilla Tactics. One or two perfectly nice bits of form for Guerrilla Tactics. You can see the posse, the Finn Muirhead posse, celebrating again before too long. There's number 2, Broadclist, Anna Johnston riding in good hands, trained by Les Jefford. Hasn't run for a bit, hasn't run for a long time, as you can see, but last time this horse was running was showing plenty of ability. That's number 2 there, Broadclist. Guerrilla Tactics, and there we'll let Bridge of Spies will come into our picture in just a second. You can see his head, and there you can see the whole of him, and the whole of Charlie Sprake as well. He's a rider who's done well under the... Charlie Sprake, the rider of Bridge of Spies, done well under the tutelage of Will Biddick. Just sorting out the girths on Broadclist there. If you're with us for the first time, you're very welcome on the live stream. We're doing plenty of live streaming from the Devon and Cornwall area between now and June. We've got, I think, 22 fixtures in all, and there'll be loads of live streaming. And if you missed the first 2 races this afternoon, let me tell you that Park This One was successful in the first race with Josh Newman riding, and then Darren Edwards, our leading rider in these parts, was successful in the next one, riding in arrears. So those are our winners so far. So the odds-on favourite for the first 2 races have both been turned over, and we've got a favourite here in. Well, we'll get an update on the betting in just a second, hopefully. But yeah, the favourites. It's not been a good afternoon for favourite backers so far. I did just love Bridge of Spies, but you know, look at the form. He had a great spring, but he definitely needed the first run last year. Then there was a big gap in the season, but that's just in the back of my mind that this is a horse of plenty of ability, but first time out, things can just go not entirely according to plan, as we know. Going through in the yellow colours there, that's number 3, Caddo George. Long distance traveller with Polly Kilgore on board. Broadcliff there, so it's the dark colours with the lighter V. Just the 5 for this one. Not masses of runners at Dunsmore this afternoon, but the quality is most certainly there. And I tell you what, those people, I think it was Darren Edwards just said to us, for his first visit here, there'll be plenty of people, because there has only been one fixture here at Dunsmore before. There'll be plenty of people here for the first time. And A, they'll be thinking, what a great day out, because you can see practically every inch of the racecourse, those here. B, they'll be saying, well, look at this fantastic countryside in mid-Devon, I suppose we are. And thirdly, they'll be saying lovely weather as well. You can't guarantee the weather in Devon, or indeed any part of the country, but it is a gorgeous day today. Right, let's get an update on the betting from Mike.
Yeah, Bridge of Spies 11-4, Broadcliff 7-5, Caddo George 10-1, Guerrilla Tactics 4-1, and 7-4 Moratorium.
So Moratorium, the 7-4 favourite. So it's been quite a bit of money around for that one. And so my Bridge of Spies, I think the expression is easy to back.
Yeah.
I suppose it does linger, doesn't it? First time out. Bridge of Spies had a good season last season, but first time out he was actually, he pulled up, I think.
Yeah, and also Moratorium, sort of an unknown quantity at the minute, isn't he, coming over from Ireland, so...
Yeah, absolutely. So he's the one that was once with Gordon Elliott, Denise Foster, part of the Jigginstown Empire. He won a maiden hurdle race at Navan when there were 29 runners. Good gracious. That must be part of the reason these Irish horses are so battle-hardened and streetwise when they take on their opponents in this country. If you've taken part in a 29-runner race at Navan, you probably learn, well, you've got to learn quite quickly if you're any good, and that's probably one of the ways in which they do learn, because they, to an extent, thrown in at the deep end. But our favourite then is this number 5 Moratorium, the lime green colours with the yellow hoop and the yellow cap, just going through the back of the picture there. And this for veteran and novice riders. So last season it was Niall Houlihan who was riding Bridge of Spies, but he's no novice anymore, and so Charlie Sprate, the rider on board. So that's just coming through the picture. Yeah, there, number 5, that's Moratorium. And it's quite interesting how some of this racing in Ireland is of such high quality. You can't win there, but you tend to be absolutely fine for point-to-point racing or other racing in this country. So looking forward to see how Moratorium gets on. Has been running relatively recently, ran at Killarney in July. So the fact is that first time out won't necessarily be quite such an issue, and was a little bit luckless on that occasion as well. Miles Osborne trains, and this one qualified via the Heathrow. So the horses down at the start in extraordinarily good time, and so they're having to just go around and take a few turns down at the starting point before getting going. If you're with us or you're unfamiliar with the racecourse, it's an oval left-handed track. There are only 6 fences on the course, so they go quickly to the first. Then there are 2 more, then a bit of a run on towards the next on each circuit. There are pretty much 3 circuits is what they do. And then from the second last to the last, that's quite an examining part of the racecourse, quite uphill for a time. And then from the last to the finish, it's very examining. And as was pointed out in our first race of the afternoon, won by Josh Newman's mount there. That long run-in part of that Park This One was able to take advantage of that and wear down the winner, the favourite, I should say, Captain Wesley. So Park This One ended up as our winner. So, the reason that Darren Edwards said earlier on the broadcast that it was only his first time at the track, and that's not because for any other reason than they've only had one fixture here before. They couldn't have one last year, and then the year before was the first fixture here at Dunsmore. We're on farmland sort of between Tiverton and Exeter. We're in the Exe Valley. We're close to the village of Silverton, and all involved would like to underline their thanks for Mark Tracy and James Weeks, who are the farmers here. Starters on his rostrum. Charlie Sprake wants to get on with it on Bridge of Spies, doesn't he? Let's join Chris Clapham for the commentary.
First time, and a good level break on the front end then. Bridge of Spies is going to lead them towards the first of the 18 fences, and watching the 5 all over safely. So novice riders race, a lot of inexperienced jockeys out there. Some of them enjoying only their second ride in a point-to-point, a couple of them as they quickly head down the hill towards fence number 2. And it's Caddo George, the best turned out, who's going to lead him over it. So Caddo George by about a length and a half lead. In behind him is Guerrilla Tactics back in second. Then Bridge of Spies has settled his way into third. Broadcliff then fourth, and Moratorium is the back marker back in 5. So down towards fence number 3. The first 3 come quick and fast, and it's Caddo George asked into it and led over it. Good jump on the outside by Broadcliff, took him nearly into a share of second. Back in second is Guerrilla Tactics in those orange colours. Back on the inside of them is Bridge of Spies, and then about a length back in last place is Moratorium. So Moratorium has been sent off the fractional favourite. Pretty wide open betting contest. Bit of money for Moratorium. The easy to back Bridge of Spies opened as favourite but just drifted out. So interesting how the market's got it right so far this afternoon over that one. And Bridge of Spies just got into the top of that and lost a couple of lengths as they turn back towards us. So on the front end it's Caddo George under Polly Kilgour leading them along. And she's coming up the inside of the track. Broadcliff then, and Anna Johnston is nearly upsides. Finn Muirhead, only 18 years old, still at school, but he has ridden a winner. Is on the wide outside, closest to the crowd, and they pretty much 3 of them jumped that in unison. And just in behind them is Moratorium, who's gone into a clear 4th now under Nathan Green. And then the back marker now is Bridge of Spies and Charlie Sprake. They pass us with 2 complete circuits to travel, and Broadcliff then, and Anna Johnson, she's only having a second ride in a point-to-point today, is just about the fraction advantage under Caddo George and Polly Kilgour. Moratorium, who was last in the early stages, the money horse, under Nathan Green. Another one having his second ride in a point-to-point. Nathan works out of the Ben Pauling yard, has pulled his way into a share of third with Finn Muirhead and Guerrilla Tactics, and Bridge of Spies is still the back marker, but only about 4 or 5 lengths between first and last in these still very early stages. Down they go. Moratorium, very keen, has pulled his way to the front now. He has settled out the back early, but he has got his way, and he's just pulling plenty hard enough on the inside now of Broadcliff. These 2 are going to jump this one as one. Better jump again by Broadcliff. Jumped that one really well last time, and again Anna Johnston saw the stride again and took a 2 out the field. Over that then, Guerrilla Tactics back in third. As they hit the bottom of this course, and they turn back round the bottom of the course towards the ditch for the second time in the contest. Bridge of Spies is still 2 lengths off the main pack, and the main pack now are led by Broadcliff, who again was foot perfect to that. Moratorium back in second. Guerrilla Tactics always been fairly handy to the lead, is in third, and Caddo George up the inside is back in 4th, but only 2 lengths off the lead. And then we've got a little bit of a gap back to Bridge of Spies and Charlie Sprake in 5th. Over that next plain fence, jumping still pretty good, and Broadcliff is leading them along now. under Anna Johnston, having a really good spin. Oh, just got into the bottom of that Broadclist. A little bit untidy, slapped down the shoulder for his trouble. Moratorium has definitely come back more onto the bridle, back in second, not pulling anywhere near so hard as he was lit up down the back straight on the second time. Finn Muirhead just asking Guerrilla Tactics up on the outside to nearly make it of a line of three. Pushed along then is Bridger Spies back in fourth. Caddo George is beginning to weaken back in five. Over that next plain fence, all clearly over it. Bridger Spies, few distress signals here, getting lower and lower in the saddle. Charlie Sprake up and down in one motion as they continue down the hill. Finn Muirhead, Guerrilla Tactics, nearly took it up there. Broadclist still jumps beautifully, taking half a length out the Guerrilla Tactics, and he does so. Moratorium happy to sit in the wings of them back in third. These three have got a 4 or 5 length gap over Bridger Spies. Down the hill they go. Caddo George then getting more distant back in fifth. On towards the next plain fence, and Moratorium up the inside again. Broadclist jumps well, jumps into a share of the lead. So Broadclist, they are a line of three now. Moratorium, Broadclist, and on the wide outside Guerrilla Tactics are three. I think Bridger Spies is crying enough, is now 10 to 12 lengths back in fourth, getting a harder ride, and Caddo Georgie more remote back in five. Moratorium then, the money horse, has gone to the front by half a length. Broadclist still bang there in second. Guerrilla Tactics up on the wide outside. This is a ditch, the third last. Moratorium cleared it well. Broadclist back in second, and then Guerrilla Tactics back in third. The favourites just got the lead now by 2 or 3, and he's sent him on here. But young lad going towards on his second ride, goes towards the next plain fence. The second last just runs down it. Guerrilla Tactics giving plenty in second, but it's Moratorium. Then a Nathan Green on the one to the final fence. Broadclist still there in third, back up the inside. Leaders in front here by 2 or 3. Still got them snapping at his heels on the long run in. Moratorium, he has a look ground. He'll see Finn Muirhead giving plenty in Guerrilla Tactics, but he's going away to win it fairly cosily in the end. Moratorium goes to collect for Nathan Green on his own second ride. Then back in second is Guerrilla Tactics. Broadclist third, and staying on well, eye-catchingly fourth was Bridger Spies in 4, and Caddo George completed back in 5.
The money spoke, didn't it? Plenty of support for Moratorium. This ex-Irish horse held its head perfectly high in some pretty competitive races in Ireland as well. And there's Nathan Green with a good smile on his face, a lot of delight. Oh, look at them. That is what it's all about, the delight amongst those around Moratorium. Successful here in this race for veteran and novice riders. They're all novice riders. Tell you what, the runner-ups run another really solid race, Guerrilla Tactics. But in the green and yellow colours, you can see shining in the Devon sunshine. Punch of the air from Nathan Green. That horse has come home. Commentators spotted, and I think everyone here will have spotted on the just going out of the picture, actually on the right there in the Bridge of Spies. That's run with credit. And the suspicion that he might just need his first run was probably borne out there. But Moratorium, very well supported, travelling from the Cotswold area, qualified via the Heathrow, the Osborne family, and this horse is a horse once part of that vast training operation overseen by Gordon Elliott and briefly Denise Foster as well. Now point-to-pointing in Britain, and successful at the first time of asking. Good shots there of Moratorium, and a delighted rider, delighted groom as well, coming into the winner's enclosure. Bridger Spies coming in there as well. We're going to look at the replay in just 2 seconds. Guerrilla Tactics too. Here is that replay, picking it up at the second last, and Moratorium has got control. I love the way Guerrilla Tactics isn't giving up, is he? And Finn Muirhead, the rider on Guerrilla Tactics, is not giving up, but Moratorium going strongly over that one, pops over it very nicely, and then has got to keep on running. Jockey looks around to check that Broad Clist isn't going to cause him any problems, but in fact no one was going to. And a red letter moment for the winning rider as well, Nathan Green. And the last one to finish there, Caddo George. So all 5 completed in that race. And I just loved seeing how chuffed to bits those around Moratorium are at their success here this afternoon. All the heritage around point-to-point racing in Britain and in Ireland. What's it, the mid 18th century, wasn't it, when they started steeplechasing? They did run from one village to another. What was it? Doneraile to Duhallow to not Duhallow. I'll think of the name of the other village. You're probably shouting at the television, listening to me. But that first steeplechase in County Court that ended up in Doneraile all those years ago. And we're still doing something not entirely dissimilar today. And the heritage of this sport is something to be very excited about, I think. So confirmation of the success of Moratorium number 5 in our third race this afternoon. We've got starting prices. We have. Mike Dran's going to come in and just... So Moratorium, a favourite has won.
Yeah, finally.
What price?
6-4.
6-4 favourite then, number 5 Moratorium, and our runner-up was Guerrilla Tactics.
Yeah, 5-1.
5-1. Bridge of Spies, easy to back today, finished 4th. Just thinking that horse will be better for the run today.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, excellent. Well, you'll bring us more betting, Mike, on our next race this afternoon. And oh, look at that, lovely scenes here at Dunsmore this afternoon. Horses just being allowed to calm down again after the action they've been involved in the last few moments. I think we can just confirm our results. That's confirming the result of this one. So, as we heard, the favourite one, number 5 Moratorium, confirmed the winner with Nathan Green riding. Hopefully have a chat with him in a second. Guerrilla Tactics second with Finn Muirhead, and Broad Clist finishing in third place with Anna Johnston. Distances 5 lengths and 4, a time of 6 minutes and 24 seconds. Moratorium starts life in British point-to-pointing in good style, and we will hear very shortly from Nathan Green, the winning rider. I wonder if we've got any news yet on the number of runners for our open race. I heard there were 3 runners in it, but I will get news shortly of... here they are. So the Ineos Grenadier mixed open race this afternoon. And there are the 3 runners. There may just be 3, but 3 good ones taking part in this one. Number 1 is Cameron, with Ben Sutton, leading novice rider of last season, riding this one, and owned by his dad Nick. And Cameron there against Southfield Theatre with Lily Bradstock. That one owned by Angela Yeoman. And the Bradstocks have already had a winner in the southwest of England this season, Badbury Rings the other day. And Static Jack. Static Jack's with us. Delighted to see him for the Trenier family, and trained by Deborah Trenier, Michael's son, on board. And, you know, we're talking about horses that can run perfectly respectably and not get into the winner's enclosure in Ireland because it is so competitive. Static Jack was a good example of that. I think Gavin Cromwell used to train Static Jack, over now with the Treniers, and certainly won a race last season as well. Right, we will concentrate on the Ineos Grenadier mixed open race shortly, and the first of the runners appearing in the paddock. But first of all, we must clear up our conditions race for veteran and novice riders, the 110. And look at the grinning person who is here. It's you must be the winning jockey. It's Nathan Green who's the winning jockey.
Yeah.
It was only your second ride?
Second ride, yeah.
Goodness.
What a spin he gave me, you know, he was unbelievable. So clever, didn't miss a beat, and he was always there for me, you know.
Yeah, and we could see we could see the horse, we could see your colours, and we could see your grin, your teeth, and your grin afterwards. So for most of us who won't do this, winning on your second ride in a point-to-point, having dreamed of doing this kind of thing presumably for some time.
Yeah, exactly.
Put into words what it's like.
Well, I struggled to really. Never thought I'd have this opportunity, to be honest. But you know, I'm so lucky to get it. And
so how did you get the opportunity?
So me and Miles, who trains it, he does a couple of pointers. You know, his dad has a few horses, and we do them kind of in our lunchtime after work. And you know, I can't thank Miles enough. He puts the hours in.
Was that Miles who was leading up?
Trainer, yeah, he leads up and trains it.
There was lots of hugging.
Yeah,
wasn't
exactly.
There?
No, it's just, you know, it's a real team effort. Miles trains them. His girlfriend Celine, she does a lot of work down there. His dad owns a horse. You know, it's just a.
And this is in the sort of Cotswold area,
Cotswold area, yeah, near Bolton on the Water.
Near Bolton on the Water,
yeah,
right?
So up there, yeah.
And when you say after work, so what's work?
So work for Ben Pauling.
Right.
6 days a week. Right. Ride out in the morning, finish there about 12:30, and then we go and do a couple of horses ourselves.
So in the new era of Ben Pauling training, where it's possible to play golf as well as train horses, you wouldn't be playing any golf.
Won't be playing much golf. No,
There's
exactly.
no time.
No, exactly.
Oh, Ben will be delighted. Ben will be really pleased for you as well.
Yeah, he will be. You know, he's great to work for, and you know.
Yeah. And just come a bit close to the microphone for us, Nathan. And are you horsey by? You come from Preston?
Not at all. No. Went to the racing school when I was 19, nearly 20. Never sat on a horse before. Up in Doncaster.
Can I ask you how old you are now?
23. So
right. So you've only been sitting on horses for 3 or 4 years.
3 years, yeah. Learned to ride there. Learned everything I know there, really. And then I went to Ben's on a placement after 12 weeks there, and I've been there ever since. You know, and everyone there has just been fantastic with me, really. And yeah, learned everything I know from there, basically.
And does Miles work there as well?
Miles works there as well, yeah.
Right. Exactly. And how many horses then do you go and do after you finish at Ben's?
Just 2 or 3.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
2 or 3 pointers and that. So yeah.
And so you come all the way down to Devon.
Down here, yeah.
Where was the first ride?
Trebbidown, so you were a bit further down.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So it's pretty straightforward this compared to that.
No, it was a different horse. Got around for 4th.
Right.
She was brilliant. What an experience I got off her, and then. Yeah, well, I mean, I can't believe what's just happened to it, quite honest.
But the horse, it's funny, these Irish horses, aren't they? It's so competitive in Ireland.
Exactly, exactly.
Didn't he win, unless I'm dreaming, he won a 29-runner maiden
hurdle? Yeah, exactly. He won twice over hurdles in Ireland. I mean, I think he was only beaten 23 lengths by Envoy Allen on his chase debut, like, you know. But, I mean... exactly. No, but Miles' dad got him at the sales up in Doncaster in August, I think it was.
Did he cost much money?
I think he was about £12,000.
Right. So not a fortune in this
day
and age.
Not a fortune, no, but, you know, he's spent enough, and I just can't thank him for the opportunity, really, because I don't think I'll have ever got this sort of opportunity.
And so you're with Ben, and do you dream of riding on even more exalted stages?
Never thought of it, no, but you know, I'm just having a bit of fun doing what I do, and that's the main thing for me. So,
well done, fantastic. And Ben's stable hasn't moved to the golf course yet.
Not quite, yeah. It'd be around Christmas time, maybe just after, something like that.
So there's going to be some kind of light system. Because those of you who don't know, what's going to happen is that Ben Pauling and his wife have bought a golf course. Yeah. They're developing the golf course, and they're developing racing stables there.
Exactly.
But if you've got a golf ball, no one shouts for, but a light goes on if the horses are around.
Yeah, exactly. So, basically, like you say, there'll be a light system of when the horses are going up the gallop, because I think the gallop goes across a couple of holes or whatever. Yeah. So the golfers will be warned, and then they'll be allowed to carry on.
Well done, and hopefully this horse will be out again soon.
Yeah, hopefully so. I mean, all being well, as long as he comes out.
Does Miles ride some of them himself?
Miles does as well. Yeah, Miles rides under rules.
So you're going to be having to have a fight over who keeps the ride.
I'm happy now. We can do what he wants.
Well done. Your first winner, Red Letter Day. It's great, exactly. And lovely performance by the horse, lovely performance by you as well. I think the journey back to Bolton on the Water will be pretty straightforward.
I think so. Yeah, exactly.
Super. Well done,
you. So much.
Well done. That's Nathan Green, successful there. His second ever rides for Ben Pauling, we've held him up for the presentation. We'll probably get a slap wrist in a minute. Apologies to officials here, but Nathan going to pick his trophy, and I just didn't you love those pictures of Nathan and Miles Osborne, who trains it, whose dad owns the horse, sort of hugging each other with delight as they came back into the towards the enclosures and to the unsaddling area after that success on Moratorium. That had some solid form, went off favourite, and we've got our first favourite successful here this afternoon. So we have confirmed we've got 3 runners for our next race, which is the Mixed Open coming up at 1:45. Gosh, it's only 1:45. And they're just confirming the runners. So Cameron goes with Ben Sutton, Southfield Theatre goes with Lily Bradstock, and Static Jack goes with Michael Trenier. And in fact, all 3 horses are in the paddock for this race. So I think we can see, I'll get some news from the betting ring in just a second, but we can have a look at them, starting with our number 1, Cameron. And Cameron, trained by Sam Loxton, qualified with the Blackmore and Sparkford Vale. Nick Sutton is the owner, and Ben, his son, rides. Look at that. There was a hunter chase at Leicester in February, and this horse Cameron beat Cousin Pascal on that occasion, and Cousin Pascal ultimately won the Fox Hunters at Aintree race. Couple of second places in a hunter chase at Exeter and at Cottlestone, beaten by Thumbstone Blues, which was in particularly good form at the time, and declared the winner in a very close finish to a novice riders race at Garthorpe in June. And Cameron played a big part in Ben Sutton being the leading male novice rider of last season. And that is Cameron looking terrific. Lovely to see the horse and to see Ben here in the Devon countryside this afternoon. I'm still buzzing, actually, from chatting to Nathan after that last race. I just love it when, admittedly it was his first winner, but when people just get really excited about what they've achieved. And it's a great achievement to win a horse race. And that's what he did on Moratorium. Right, there's, for this next race, there's number 4. That's Southfield Theatre. And, Angela Yeoman is the owner of Southfield Theatre. Trained by Sara Bradstock, Mark Bradstock's wife. No, Mark Bradstock is Sara Bradstock's husband. Qualified via the Berks and Bucks. And Lily Bradstock, the rider on board Southfield Theatre, number 4. And he is a real old favourite, this horse, isn't he? Southfield Theatre. He's won 7 out of 12 races. Last season, good second behind Miss Seagreen at Larkhill in December. Good winner at Chazzy Corbett in April. And second place in that, I think it was a 3-horse race at Fleet in May. Last run wasn't bad at all. Likes to lead, likes to see if the others can catch him, this 13-year-old Southfield Theatre. Lovely to see him here today. And lovely to see Static Jack, number 5. Good old Static. He's a 10-year-old for the Trenier family, qualified via the Dartmoor. Pulled up in a similar race at Badbury Rings on November the 7th. Used to be trained by Devon Cornwall and Elmarie Holden in Ireland. And won 4 races under rules and a point-to-point as well, I think. Decent win first time out for the Treniers at Cherrybrook. Leading in the final strides from River Myth, Honest Deed and Eric III. Well, that's pretty good. Not quite so good after. But looking forward to seeing Static Jack off the back of that run the other day at Badbury Rings. Michael Trenier on board. So those are your 3. Let's bring Steve Drown. Steve Drown's someone quite different. Well, he's a cousin. Mike Drown in to give us the update. If we had Steve Drown these days, he'd be telling us news from the steward's room because he's a professional steward. But this is Mike Drown, who's got news from the betting ring of these 3 runners. What price is Cameron?
2-1 on.
2-1 on. 2 odds-on favourites have been beaten here today, but clearly this one has plenty of credentials. So he's 2s on, number 1 Cameron. Then we've got number 4 Southfield Theatre at
5-4.
5-4, and Static Jack, the outsider of 3.
5-2, Static Jack.
5-2. 5-2. So outsider of 3 in a 3-horse race. It's meant to be the thing to do. I wonder what will happen here. Thanks to Mike, who'll keep us posted on news from the betting ring. I have to say that they'll be chuffed to bits with the turnout in terms of crowd today. First meeting of the season. Well, it was due to be the second, but the first in this area. First one's off, and you do slightly wonder, do you? Will everybody get a bit bit miffed about all that kind of thing and will say, oh, you know, we're going to have problems. But they haven't. They've come out in their droves in a real good crowd here this afternoon. And look at those skies. Look at the countryside. I know I've been sounding all afternoon like a member of the Devon and Cornwall Tourist Board. But actually, the scenery here is part of what is such good fun. I'll tell you what we're going to do. You know, I said a few seconds ago I was still buzzing, having talked to Nathan Green about his success, his first ever success in the last race. To keep the buzz going, I'm going to bring in Miles Osborne, who was the winning trainer. He was the person hugging the jockey afterwards. Miles, well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
It obviously meant a huge amount to Nathan and a huge amount to both.
Awful lot. We're delighted. I mean, I'm lucky enough that Dad's got a few horses and he's bought this one at the sales earlier on in the year. And he was bought, and we just said at the start of the season we'll try to buy a nice one to have a little bit of fun with, because we've had a few in the past, bits and bobs, but nothing too special. And Nath works with me at Ben Paulin's, rides out for me at lunchtime.
Well, he's been telling us your regime doesn't appear to be a lot of partying.
No, it's pretty non-stop. And fair play, my girlfriend that can't be here today, she's a massive part of us.
So
really.
give your girlfriend a name check.
Celine Delahaye.
Right.
She got him ready and all before she came.
Right.
He came today, and unfortunately she couldn't come down today.
And has your dad come today?
Dad's here. Dad drove us down.
And his first name is?
Simon.
Simon. So he gets a name check as well.
Yeah,
We're giving name checks to the team.
No, so it's literally big team effort, really, all together.
But we could see how chuffed you were.
Oh no!
So put into work. So why were you just so pleased to have pulled this off today?
It's basically Nathan only started riding 2 or 3 years ago. He come to Ben Paulin's, not having sat on a racehorse before he went to racing school. And as a lot of people know, a lot of people doubt people and everything. And there was a few doubters going in. We had a little mare last year. They had his first ride on and got round at Trebydannon. And we've had this horse, and he is a bit fragile, so we haven't done loads, probably as enough schooling as we could. Right. But he's taken to him really well, and fair play to the old horse, he looked after him brilliant. Yeah. And it just means an awful lot. And Ben Paulin, he's a massive help to us, and Tom David, the assistant, they're always pointing us in the right direction, so can't thank them enough as well.
How long have you been with Ben?
This is coming up for my 4th season now.
And so have you got a particular role within the place?
So I'm going to the new yard, and I'm lucky enough to step up to barn manager.
Taking your golf clubs?
Yeah, the new golf club. So I'm lucky to step up to barn manager. I'm going to run a barn at Ben's, so I'm very grateful for, and hopefully just keep a few points on the side and go from there, really.
And the horses, they're running okay at the moment, are they?
Yeah, running well. Really good start to the year. Always a little bit quiet this time of the year. We normally kick in about springtime, but no, we're overall running really well, and hopefully got a couple of chances at Fontwell today. And Dad's also got one at Fontwell today as well. So
you've got to go off and
we're watching on the phone. Hopefully, hoping for across the card doubles. So.
And what was the name of the horse at Fontwell?
Snug as a Bug, runs for Sue Gardner.
Right.
So and Lucy rides her. So hopefully she gets home safely and runs a nice race as well.
Well done. It's been one of the highlights of the first day of the season here to see you two just obviously so delighted for each other. And these ex-Irish horses, because there's so many horses, it's so competitive, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he lost the love, I think, a little bit for Gordon, and fair play to him. He said to him, you'll have a lot of fun with him point-to-point in. He's probably had a hard enough time, so we just tried to sweeten him up a little bit, took all the headgear off, and it seemed to have worked. So,
have you got a next race planned for him?
Not really. Probably look for something in about a month's time, and then he was touch and go whether we knew he'd stay. Probably class got him through today, so we was hoping for 2.5 mile hunter chase maybe after Christmas, seeing we can be a little bit competitive.
And I was just saying to Nathan, are you two going to be fighting over the ride?
Well, yeah. He said to me, if I win, I said I'll have a 50% strike rate, so I'll retire. But I don't know if he'll want to now anyway. But
he was joking, presumably.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
Good.
The thrill he got off of that.
Excellent. Well, well done to all of you.
Thank you very much.
And best of luck at Fontwell as well.
Thank you very much.
Super, lovely.
Thank you,
Miles Osborne, the successful trainer there after that previous race. We need to talk about the calendar. We're going to talk about Naked Flesh. I'll tell you what, have we got time to talk about Naked Flesh? We're going to talk about Naked Flesh now because Kat Down is here, photographer and producer of this naked calendar to raise money for a brain tumour charity. Lovely to see you. Get nice and close to the mic, Kat. So, what is it? Tell us what you're doing.
So, one of our friends, unfortunately, has a terminal brain tumour, which is shocking news. And another of our crazy friends said, "Shall we do a naked calendar?" So I foolishly went, okay. I put
Did you say okay, but do I have to wear any silly hats?
I've got to wear the brain tumour hat, haven't I? Just so that you know it's all pink today.
Oh, it's great.
But yeah, so basically 36 photos later, 84 people in the calendar, raising money for brain tumour research. We've got 2,500 calendars to sell. We've already got 1,000 gone in 2 weeks.
Really?
So yeah, we're just trying to make as much money as we can for the charity, which is supporting Sean. So.
And who are the people who have been photographed?
Oh, I've got so many people. We've got
from this area?
Yeah. So I've gone from Colleton up to the Quantock Hills, down onto Exmoor, Dartmoor. Many in mid-Devon. I've had people jumping hedges naked. I've had people in baths naked with hounds.
You sound as though you've rather enjoyed all this.
Oh, it's been so funny. The most entertaining evening was the Keeper's Cottage, where I had 11 men and 3 females join us, and Ashley opened the pub for us, especially.
Is this
that
on
night.
the front cover?
Yes, it's
yeah,
the
hold
front
it up.
cover.
Hold it up so we can see. Oh well, I don't know if we can quite see that, but I tell you, it's a great shot. It's a great shot.
Yeah, he opened up especially for us, and a few locals walked in and then turned around.
So how much persuading to take their clothes off did they need?
The locals left very quickly, but the lads in the picture and the girls in the picture were very quick to take their clothes off.
Couldn't wait to get it.
Absolutely not. It was so much fun.
So just tell us. So this is really important. This is raising money for brain tumour research.
Brain tumour research.
It's a fun thing, but it's really important.
It's a subject very close to our hearts, and it's hit us all very hard, and we all love the individual who it's about, and we've discovered through the journey of doing this calendar just how many people are affected by brain tumours, and we just want to make as much money as we can for the charity, and yeah, we took our clothes off to do it.
So, and just finally, how can people get hold of it?
So I've got a website called livingourbestlives.co.uk.
Living our best lives. All one word, so to speak.
.co.uk, and my name is Kat. I'm Kat Down Photography, and if you contact me, you will find them on there.
How many have you printed?
2,500.
And how many have you got rid of so far?
About 1,000.
So you've got 1,500. What a great Christmas present, and it'll be hanging on the wall all next year.
And it is very friendly. It's tasteful. The word has been tasteful.
Excellent. Well, look, very best of luck, and it's a brilliant thing because obviously it's a laugh, and you've all enjoyed it.
It is a laugh, but it's very
serious. But
the
bottom line's very serious.
Yes, the bottom line.
Oh, the bottom line. livingourbestlives.co.uk.
Yeah, that's us.
Super.
So thank you very much.
Lovely, and best of luck with. I know you're selling them here. Will you be selling them at the next Point-To-Point at Weybridge?
I will have David from Penstone Crafts selling them for me there.
Excellent. Super. Lovely. Best of luck with them. Lovely to see you. And tasteful is the operative word, but she's absolutely right. You know, brain tumours do affect so many different people and people suffering from them, etc. So the fact that they're raising money in such a fun way for such a serious thing is really important. And I know that the Devon and Cornwall Point-To-Point area would want to give its full support as Kat and the team do that for brain tumour research. Let's bring Mike Drown in now to give us the very latest betting on, what is it, race 4?
Yeah, more money for Shamron, now into 4 to 5.
4 to 5, and what about the other two?
Southfield Theatre remains at 5 to 4, and Static Jack is now 7 to 4.
So if I gave you a fiver and said you can back any of the three, would you stick it on the favourite?
Oh, you should have asked me in the last race because I picked the winner.
Oh, did you? Well done. Well, what about it? Are you going to pick the winner again?
Probably not, no.
So what, do you think the favourite?
Southfield Theatre's been a very good horse in his time, hasn't he? But yeah, I'd be sticking with the favourite, yeah.
Excellent, super. Thanks to Mike for that. And there are the runners down at the starting point for this 4th race, the Ineos Grenadier Mixed Open Race. And this serious off-roader is going to be launched next year and Ineos Grenadier say it's perfect in the countryside, so therefore point-to-pointing is a perfect vehicle, a perfect vehicle to demonstrate, to raise the profile of the organisation. There's Southfield Theatre in the centre with the red cap, the bluer colours with the pink, that's number one, that's Cameron, and then the Trenier colours are the darker with a bit of yellow on the cap. So those are three contenders here. Cameron, 8-year-old by Laveron, trained by Sam Loxton with some very good form, and Ben Sutton, leading novice rider on board, just coming into the picture in the centre with the blue. Static Jack, ex-Irish like our last winner. And it is so competitive, some of these races in Ireland, that you can find something that hasn't necessarily won, hasn't necessarily had recent form lately, at a reasonable price, and they can do well point-to-pointing or doing other racing jobs in Britain and elsewhere. And then that Southfield Theatre, what an old favourite, multiple winner, as the starter looks at his watch, and I think he's going to go and climb those steps just on the left of the picture. There he is, climbing the steps. So we're ready to roll for the 145, the Ineos Grenadier mixed open qualifier for the final. Flags raised and off they go.
Way quickly. A good break again. Southfield Theatre is the one who's going to lead them towards the first of 18 fences. Again, 3 trips round this wonderful course here at Dunsmore. And Southfield Theatre it is who leads by about a length to Static Jack in second in those green colours. And settled in arrears in the early stages is Chameron. So pace not that great in the early stages, and Southfield Theatre just jumped that well. He's gone on by 3 or 4 lengths now as they head on down the hill. Quality field here, not too many of them, only the 3, but all 3 really good horses in their time and still got plenty of future in them. Southfield Theatre then, 13 years young, is leading them along under Lily Bradstock then, comes towards this plain fence, pulling a little bit hard now, leads over it by 2 to Static Jack, who was last seen last week under Michael Trenier up at Badbury Rings. Ran a bit flat, but he seems to have come to himself this week, and they thought they'd have another go quickly. A couple of lengths in behind them is Chameron. 2 of these horses are ex-Paul Nicholls horses. Southfield Theatre, pretty successful under rules, and Chameron. And Static Jack was bought out of the Gavin Cromwell stable last year, over the ditch for the first time, and the leader is Southfield Theatre by 3 or 4 now, and bowling along out in front. Chameron's just gone up on the outside of Static Jack just to take a little bit of closer order to this freewheeling favourite runner in front. It's Southfield Theatre from Chameron and Static Jack. Chameron actually sent off just a shade of odds-on favourite in this as they come over towards the next plain fence, and Southfield Theatre by a fraction now to Chameron and Ben Sutton up on the outside. Ben, who works for the Alan Hill stable, is closing in second, and then on the inside, but only about length and a half between first and last, still Static Jack right there on the inside. So they go away from us, the 3 of them. Pace has definitely increased since the get-go, and Southfield Theatre leads them along by about a length now. Chameron very much taking closer order back in second, and then Static Jack is now been relegated to the clear back marker position back in third. On the way down the hill, another plain fence again. Southfield Theatre was really good at that and opened up by 2 lengths. He jumped it well on the last circuit, opened up a length lead, and he's done it again this time. So freewheeling down, Lily Bradstock out front, a daughter of Mark and Sara Bradstock of Carruthers fame and many others, leading them along. A couple of lengths then, Ben Sutton back in second on Chameron, and then back in third is Michael Trenier, and Static Jack, who just got a little bit lower in the saddle, plenty early enough in the contest then. Southfield Theatre, who won the Cheltenham 4 miler on the Hunter Chase evening 2 seasons ago under Lily, is chasing another prize here by about a length and a half. She leads in second then, and Chameron, who travels really kindly in second, and then third Static Jack. This is the ditch then for the second time. Comes to it. Jumping's been very good by the leader, Southfield Theatre, so far. Shamaron happy to sit in behind, couple of lengths second, and then Static Jack, who's 2 or 3 then adrift, back in third. So on, pressing on now, back up towards the crowd that seems to grow bigger and bigger with every race. Towards us now, Southfield Theatre then by 3 or 4. 2 Shamaron in second, still no panic in behind over what will be the last in a circuit's time, and still the back marker is Static Jack. And now a reminder for Static Jack. Michael Trenier has got the persuader out and just gives him a sharpener. He's struggling just to lay up with these 2 good horses in front. So Southfield Theatre is going to take us into the lead out into the country for the final time, by about a length, but Shamaron is quick to cover the move within about a length. Closing in on them is Static Jack, but asked under pressure as they clear over another plain fence at the top of the course. Another reminder for Static Jack to go out on another circuit. He's not that keen on it really, and he's beginning to try and pull himself up at the top of that hill, and he's losing lengths. They head down the hill then, and it's the 2 Paul Nicholls horses who lead the way, and Southfield Theatre by about a length and a half, but Shamaron and Ben Sutton are travelling very kindly back in second, and I'm afraid Static Jack is going to be pulled up out the contest. So 2 now left running out the 3 as they head on towards the next plain fence downhill. Southfield Theatre, the 13-year-old from the 8-year-old Shamaron back in second, who's just asked for a little effort there, but he's within about length and a half back in second. These 2 as they motor on down towards the bottom of the course. Southfield Theatre then, can he hang on from Shamaron? As they turn at the bottom, Shamaron now looming large up on the outside. Lily Bradstock hasn't asked too much yet on the inside. They face up towards the ditch. It's the third from home. And Southfield Theatre asked for an effort. Again, his jumping is very good. Now Shamaron is asked for his effort up on the outside. Flattered to deceive maybe a little bit on the outside under Ben Sutton. He tries to row him along up to go and join the issue now towards the second last. Now both jockeys beginning to get a bit more animated as they come to it now. Southfield Theatre still by about a length and a half. Shamaron just not managing to get quite on terms with him as they race down towards the final fence. And Southfield Theatre, they were nearly in the air together, still holding sway and just always seems to be doing enough. Southfield Theatre, Shamaron trying to lunge late at him but is not closing, and Southfield Theatre's going to hang on here. Southfield Theatre wins it for Lily Bradstock. Back in second then is Shamaron and Ben Sutton, and they're the only 2 to finish.
Well. The Ineos Grenadier mixed open race has gone to the second favourite in the end. The odds-on favourites got turned over. And there's our winner, Southfield Theatre. Lily Bradstock riding in the colours of Angela Yeoman. Well done to all concerned, beating Cameron that was so popular there on the left of your picture. But this horse has won again, Southfield Theatre. He is we'll talk to Lily or Sarah or both in a minute, and they'll call this horse a legend, quite rightly. And it's Southfield Theatre who's come home as the winner ahead of Cameron. But let's see the closing stages again to see how it was done. Just 2 of them really in it now in these closing stages, and a couple of times, Cameron obviously comes with a big reputation and some excellent form, but a couple of jumps weren't just spectacular. And look at Lily able to realise in the final strides that she was in control and pat the horse down the neck as soon as they passed the winning line. So well done to all concerned with Southfield Theatre. That was terrific. And Cameron in second place. Static Jack, there's probably another race in in that horse at some point, but it wasn't to be today. And Point-To-Pointing as a whole across the country delighted that Ineos involved as sponsor of a whole series of open races, including this one, Ineos Grenadier, the Grenadier being launched next year. And happy scenes in the winners area. There's Sara Bradstock in the red greeting her winner, and Cameron going into his slot as well. There we are. So that is how our mixed open here this afternoon has ended. Just love these horses that come back year in, year out, and do their best. And they, he and Lily, a very fine combination together. 13 years old, the horse, winner of 9 chases, 7 points, and you'll recall it was the 3-horse race at Fleet in this. In the Devon and Cornwall area last season, when this horse was well fancied, got beaten there, but plenty of ability, plenty of fun to be had with horses like this, and the Bradstock team clearly in good order, having had that winner the other day as well with Southfield Lily. So that is the result of our 4th race this afternoon. That being race 4, we now look towards race 5, and I think we've got some decks for race 5, 6 of them for this next race. So let's just confirm those for you in full. Number 1, Accordini. James King rides this one, and this one from South Wales, Accordini. Then number 2, Clever des Assons, and this one racing for Natalie Parker. She's on board number 2, Clever des Assons, owned by Tracy Parker. 3, Old D'un Regard, the Treniers again. This is Barney Trenier on this one, trained by Deborah Trenier, and the Treniers, owner-trainers of Old D'un Regard. Always felt that horse would be winning at some point. Hope so. 4, Must Meet for a Pint, another family horse for the Baments. Chad is on board Must Meet for a Pint. Just love that as a name for a horse. How do you get that into 18? 4, 8, 11, 12. Oh no, it's 16 letters, but they cram them all into one word. Chad riding that. Then Stephen Steele with Darren Edwards, riding for Janet Ackner and John Spall, and Thomas Crown, Will Biddick, the rider on board that one. So those are our contenders for race 5. And race 5 comes up at 2:20, so look forward to that. We'll have some betting on that race in just a second, but let's just confirm the last result in full. There we are, Southfield Theatre and Lily Bradstock confirmed as the winner, ahead of the odds-on favourite. Well, I'll get confirmation, it was it was odds-on favourite, wasn't it, in second place. Distance is 1 1/4 lengths. 6 minutes and 22 seconds is how long they took for that one. Do some betting in a second, because I see a winning rider coming towards me, and although the betting is all important from Mike Drown, hearing from the winning rider is even more important. Well done, Lily.
Thank you.
Come in nice and close to the mic. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll just adjust it for you very
short.
Slightly. Well done, great.
Thank you. No, he's fantastic.
Well, I predicted you'd come and say he's a legend, because he is really, isn't he?
He is, yeah. He just loves it. And he's still a hooligan at home, but as soon as he gets to the races, he just loves it.
So when you say a hooligan,
he spends most of his time galloping sideways at home.
Oh, really?
Yes, but he loves it, so, we let him, it's fine.
Right. And he's won a lot of races, hasn't he?
Yes, a lot of races. He just is a dude.
Yeah. A dude. That's nearly as good
Yes.
as that's probably. I'm old, I say legend. You're young, and you say dude, and that's absolutely right. And so, what about today? Because of Cameron being here, or Cameron, whatever you want to call it, the odds-on favourite. Everyone rather concentrating on that one.
Yeah.
But your horse has got all those ones next to the name.
I was a little bit worried about the ground being this soft because he much rather prefers it better than this, but once he gets into a rhythm, like even out in front, he's not doing an awful lot. As soon as the other horse comes to him, he goes again. And Shamron isn't the world's best jumper, so I was quite hopeful that with a good round of jumping, he'd put him under the sword.
And your horse just loves
Yes,
his jumping.
He does. He likes a long stride.
So he's a hooligan, he's a dude, but he comes up trumps time and time
he
again.
is amazing. Yeah.
So what are you hoping for during the? He'll give you a bit of fun this season.
Yeah, hopefully he can just keep enjoying it. As long as he's enjoying it, we'll keep going. And he's just, I won't get another horse to ride like him, I don't think. So we can enjoy him while we have him.
But you had another Southfield winner the other day, didn't you?
Yeah, that was really good because she's quirky but equally as talented. So hopefully.
Is she a hooligan? Is she a bit of a
No,
hooligan?
she's just quite sharp. But hopefully we can keep on the right side of her, and she might be really nice.
So what about this season? What are you hoping for?
Hoping to just keep riding winners and maybe start to get a few outside rides.
Right, excellent. And you're the Bradstocks, aren't you? So you've won a Cheltenham Gold Cup. You've won lots of good races. Your brother's very talented equestrian as well. So horses just... Who's more important in your house, the people or the horses?
The horses.
But and your mum Sarah, she's so full of enthusiasm when you see her come down.
Yeah, no, she rides him every day, and we all love Kevin.
Yeah, excellent. Well, look, well done today. Best of luck for the season ahead.
Thank you.
And I think we held up someone for their trophy earlier on, so you must go and get
Thank
the trophy.
you very much. Thank
well done to Lily with her winner there, off to get her trophy now after the mixed open race. Mike Brown is here, who has now we will come on now to the betting for our next race. So what have we got? Who's favourite, Mike?
Oh, sorry, I thought you wanted starting prices there.
Oh, you give the starting price. Give us the starting prices then. Sorry.
So Southfield Theatre went off a 6-4.
6-4, second favourite.
And Shamron went off evens.
Even money, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so just ease a little bit before the off. Have you got any betting on the next race?
No.
Right, we'll see you in a second then. Sorry, jump the gun with Mike there for betting for the next race. But we have just got confirmation of those runners for the next race. So we've got a Cordini, Clever des Arsons, Earl d'un Regard, Must Meet for a Pint, Stephen Steele and Thomas Crown as well for our next race, due off at 2:20. The timekeeping here is absolutely exceptional. I know that for all the races run under rules are all on either the Racing TV channel or Sky Sports Racing channel, and I know producers pull their hair out at the amount of bad timekeeping. They love RTV and Sky Sports Racing would absolutely love being here at Dunsmore this afternoon. Timekeeping has been exceptional. So we have we got horses? We're about to get horses in the paddock, but I can't overemphasise how many people have actually turned out for the racing at Dunsmore today. So let's just see if we can have a look. Look at that, really tremendous crowds here this afternoon. And we're just waiting for the runners for our next race, and presentations taking place in the presentation area. And as I've been emphasising all day, just look at the blue skies, the greenness of the grass here, the rolling hills. So if you think of the southwest of England, there's another great shot looking across over on the far side of towards the far side of the racecourse. We are another more good shots. We've invested for the live streaming this season, or the Devon and Cornwall area have invested in some extra cameras, and the one in the paddock, and that is the one that gives us a good close-up view. Well, of the stewards there, two of them on the left-hand side of your picture, but the new camera for the paddock, and although we haven't got any horses in the paddock yet, gives us a real good opportunity to have a good look at them. There's Rita, our floor manager, looking to see what's going on. She can't hear us at the moment, so I can't say give us away, but this is an important race for her because this restricted race at 2:20 is for the Derek Hurd Blazing Miracle Memorial Shield. And Derek Hurd, a well-known figure in these parts, Rita Hurd, and that was Rita there that you saw in the picture, her dad, and Blazing Miracle, a very good horse that they had. Horses emerging into the paddock, and I'm hoping, right, well that, I'll tell you what, that's the 10-year-old Stephen Steele, which is in the paddock now, just followed round there by Thomas Crown. We've got some betting, so let's bring Mike in. Mike's at the mic to give us the betting on this. So who's favourite here?
Early show is Accordini 2-1.
Clever Des Assons.
Yeah, 5-2.
Right.
Then
Eold and Regard.
7-2.
Some of these names they're testing, aren't they? Imagine the commentators might have to call them in a tight finish in a minute.
Must meet for a pint. That'll be you later.
Yeah. Eold and Regard is what price?
5-2.
Yeah. Funnily enough,
7-2.
7-2. Funnily enough, Must Meet for a Pint slipped out very, very easily. So what price is that?
7-2 as well.
7-2 as well. Stephen Steele?
5-2.
5-2. And Thomas Crown?
13-5.
13-5. So our favourite.
13-5.
13-5. So our favourite, all in all,
just Accordini.
Is just Accordini.
Yeah.
With James King riding that one, number 1 on the card. We Must Meet for a Pint. Must Meet for a Pint, number 4 on the card. We'll have a look at in a second. But there at the top of the. Going across the top of the paddock is Clever Des Assons, who's an 8-year-old, and this one trained by Laura Jones, qualified via the Minehead Harriers, beat a well-regarded opponent on good ground at the Quantock fixture at Cottlestone in April, then pulled up on much softer ground subsequently. Some decent runs though on softer, but seems better on better going. Well, there's a little bit of both to be dealt with today, and that is Clever Des Assons on the right of your picture. Lovely shots with that new paddock camera that has been invested in. Grey horse coming in then behind is number 5, Stephen Steele, 10-year-old by King's Theatre, trained by Janet Ackner, also part owner with John Spall, winner of Point-To-Point at Buckfastleigh, in great style actually, when successful Stephen Steele in March 2020, then interrupted by the pandemic. Well beaten in this, at Wadebridge in a restricted behind Shap Hill and Must Meet for a Pint subsequently. Best run of the season last season may have been a 4th at Fleet in mid-April. Hopefully can get his act together again. We're talking about Clever Des Assons, and Clever Des Assons in the paddock there with some of the other horses. That's Stephen Steele. See who else we can see. Oh yeah, I was just saying we were talking about Clever Des Assons, trained by Laura Jones, and Laura Jones's husband is Ben Jones, jockey. Hello. Last time we met was at Worcester. This is all a bit different.
A bit different here,
isn't it great? Well done yesterday. Treble for you at Uttoxeter. Yeah.
No. Very good day at the office.
Yeah, well, you're a successful rider, but a treble any day is special, isn't it?
It is, and look, when you ride for nice people and nice owners and the governor, so it makes it even more worthwhile.
And the governor's Philip Hobbs?
Yep, based down there 4 days a week, yeah.
So. Right, and so this is your missus, your wife has got a runner here in Clever Des Assons. How do you assess this horse today?
Yeah, the boss is here herself. Yeah,
the boss?
The boss, yeah.
So what do you call Philip Hobbs, the governor?
The governor.
So he's the governor, this is the boss.
This is the boss, yeah, this is the main boss woman. But no, look, he goes well at home and he should be fit and ready to go, so...
What about the ground? Because it's good ground, but there's some softer bits on the far side. Is that necessarily quite...
He prefers the better ground, but look, he's run on the heavy. I say today now, as long as he can get out the wet patch at the bottom, he should come up the hill nicely enough at the end.
And did you start off in Point-To-Points?
Yeah,
I'm guessing you did.
Yes, so I had 36 winners pointing, and then I turned conditional. And
was that mainly in Wales or mainly down here, or mixture?
Bit of both.
Right.
When I come down to the governor the last year, I was kind of riding down in Devon and back in Wales, so I was back and forth. I didn't know where I was every weekend, really.
So you treble at Uttoxeter today. You've won what people sometimes call the Hennessy Gold Cup in the past. You've won lots of races, but do you find coming to a Point-To-Point just on a lovely day like this? How do you find it?
There's nothing better. When you're born and raised up, and every Saturday and Sunday you're pointing, and coming back and seeing the old friends still at it, and ding dong coming up the line, and nothing really changes, you know. So it's great atmosphere, and it's a good crowd. So no, it's wonderful to be back here.
And final question: was it at the Governor's that you met the boss?
It was, yeah.
It was.
Yeah. So.
And is the boss? She's saddling today, presumably.
Yeah, no, she's.
Oh, so you're assistant trainer today
I'm assistant
as well?
trainer today. Yeah. I'm whatever she tells me I am on the day.
Has she given you a few orders already?
Yeah, a few orders. Yeah, I better get going now before she starts shouting.
Oh, that's what I was thinking. Excellent. Well done,
Thank
well
you
done
very
yesterday.
Take care.
That's great to see Ben Jones with us this afternoon as we take you back to the horses in the paddock at Dunsmore. Presentations taking place behind us as well. It's lovely to see Ben, who is an excellent professional jockey now. Rode that good winner, Darasha. It won the old Hennessy Gold Cup, now called the Ladbrokes Trophy, Darasha counter at Newbury. Treble at Uttoxeter yesterday, plenty of winners, but lovely to see him point-to-pointing as well, and his wife Laura, ex-Laura Parker, trainer of Clever des Assons. And we'll have another look, no doubt, at that one in a minute. There, over on the far side, they're just going through the picture, actually, Clever des Assons. There, over there, number 3 is Earl d'un Regard. I was talking about horse names earlier on and how much I like Bridge of Spies for nice names. Some of these French names are just quite difficult to get your tongue around, aren't they? Earl d'un Regard is this one. Nice horse, though. 7-year-old by Great Pretender for the Trenier family. Caught close to the finish at Bratton Down in a restricted in May. Ran okay in a fair race at Upcut afterward. Bits and pieces of promise. Sole success came on fast ground at Cottlestone in May 2019. But number 3, Earl d'un Regard, definitely a nice, fun horse to have. And there's our favourite, number 1, Accordini. Welsh Challenger with the Kieran Langibby, 9-year-old by Dr. Massini, trained by Gareth Moore. And James King rides in the Hoskin colours. Never featured in some point-to-points at Garthorpe and Upcut in the spring. 4 rules runs during the summer. First 2 efforts were pretty respectable. One of them was a 3rd place over 3 miles at Market Raisin in June, and a 3rd place at Worcester in July. Wasn't able to build, though, on runs afterwards at Bangor and back at Worcester. But point-to-pointing today and well supported in the market. Looks well too. Number 1, Accordini, and James King will ride in colours that are basically black with yellow seams. The jockey's just arriving in the paddock. In fact, just looking across, black with a yellow seam and a yellow cap. You'll be able to spot that. You see him going on the far side of the group of jockeys over to meet those involved with his mount, number 1, Accordini. Worth just reminding ourselves of the numbers in terms of James King last season. I think he's on a couple of winners for this season so far, but he rode 33 winners last year, James, to be our champion point-to-point rider, national champion. He trained 5 winners as well, and the support of Jason Warner was particularly important to James last year. Jack Andrews then in second in 16. Been riding winners, certainly a couple under rules, Jack. 16 winners for him last season. Will Biddick and Bradley Gibbs on 15. Conor Houlihan, who was the leading novice rider around here but not in the country, rode 9 winners last year as well. And mentioned Bradley Gibbs, he's had a terrific start to the season. I know I go on about it, but these are lovely shots, aren't they? Do spread the word about the live feed. There'll be loads of live feed broadcasts during the point-to-point season from the Devon and Cornwall area. It was this point-to-pointing area that certainly pioneered live streaming in the manner which we've all become so used to really over the last 12 months or so. And there'll be loads of live streaming between now and the end of the season, which is in early June. And certainly the next fixture is at Wadebridge on the 5th of December, live streaming there, and I think we then go to Wadebridge on the 9th of January, live streaming from there as well. So really looking forward to the season. My name's Cornelius Lysett. I'll be with you quite a lot. Robert Cooper hopefully will be with us as well. I know he's at Fontwell this afternoon, but he'll be joining us for point-to-points later on in the season. And you can get all the details of the live streaming via the Devon and Cornwall point-to-pointing website, and the website is pointingdc.co.uk. I'm sure that's right, yeah. pointingdc.co.uk. Do you know when you say something full of authority and you suddenly think, did I say the right thing there? But it's pointingdc.co.uk. So you get details of the live stream, and also you might have to just direct message. There's a Devon and Cornwall point-to-point area has a Twitter, as you can see on the screen there, a Twitter handle at pointingdc, and if you direct message that particular site, or maybe via Instagram, then you'll be able to get news of the Angel scheme that is being run. It's there will be details on the website, it's just not there at the moment, but I think it's £75 a package for live streaming during the whole year, and also how you get, and you can do this, you can get a USB stick of individual races as well. And I know, nice touch here at Dunsmore today, the winning jockeys are all being given USB sticks of their races, which has meant that so far this afternoon there have been USB sticks handed to Josh Newman after he won the first race on Park this one, also to Darren Edwards after he was successful on In Arrears in our second race. Odds on favourites turned over in the first two races. There was also a USB stick for Nathan Green, who won on Moratorium, and that was the favourite, winning race 3. And then race 4, there'll be a USB stick for the Bradstock family after the success of Southfield Theatre. Another odds on favourite turned over in that particular race. You are pretty much as bang up to date you can be. We've seen the horses. They're just the signal for the jockeys to mount has just been made. They will be very shortly on their way to the starting point for this race, and once again we race over 3 miles here this afternoon, and there were actually, that's great, there were 6 entries for this restricted race, and all 6 are taking part, which is we're very pleased indeed to see. And let's stop talking so that Chris Clapham can describe the horses on their way to the start.
Number 3, Eildon Regard, the man of Barnaby Trenier, green with the green and gold striped cap. On the way down now, in leading them along, is number 4, Must Meet for a Pint, the man of Chad Baymont. He's got the black with the white chevron, black sleeves, carrying a white quartered cap. Then comes number 6, Thomas Crown, the man of Will Biddick, black with the purple Cross of Lorraine, purple sleeves. He carries a white cap. Then number 1, Accordini, the man of James King, black with the yellow seams, yellow sleeves, black armlets, carrying a yellow cap. And then number 2, Clever des Essence, the man of Natalie Parker, black with the emerald green hoops, white sleeves, black spots, emerald green and black hoops cap. And the last one to post is the grey, first grey of the afternoon, number 5, Steven Steele, the man of Darren Edwards, navy with a yellow hoop, half sleeves, carries a yellow cap. So we have 6 runners and riders going to post for race number 5 on the race card. It is the restricted race, and it is very kindly sponsored by the supporters of the Silverton Hunt.
And the runners here racing for the Derek Hurd Blazing Miracle Memorial Shield, and a memento to the winning owner and rider of this race. So it's due off at 2:20. Only 3 minutes to the off, but they're down in very good time. Just want to see number 1, Accordini, down at the start there, as if by magic, came straight into the picture and looks indeed a picture, this horse. A couple of runs earlier on in the summer, those runs at Market Raisin and Worcester, would indicate that this horse would go pretty close today. James King looking for a winner here this afternoon. Not had much luck so far. In fact, had no luck so far. So as we look there, that's Must Meet for a Pint on the left of your picture, the dark colours with the white. Chad Baymont riding that one, and that one trained by Helen, his mum, qualified via the Torrington Farmers, and the Baymont family owned this. Won a race on pretty soft going at Wadebridge, a maiden race in January of last year. Since then, bits and pieces of form, including a third at Wadebridge and a fifth in a similar race to this at Bratton Down. Being given time, and may well be gradually getting there. Number 4 Must Meet for a Pint. Let's have the betting update just before the off.
Yeah, we've got a new favourite here, Clever Descente, 12-5.
Clever Des Essence then is the favourite at 12-5. Then what?
Followed by a Cordini at 13-5, and also Thomas Crown, who is also 13-5.
So at the top of the betting, it's pretty crowded.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the 3 big players here, just before the off, are number 2 Clever Des Essence, and we just heard from Ben Jones, trainer's husband, Accordini, and number 6 Thomas Crown. Thomas Crown is a horse there with the rider in the black with the purple cross of Lorraine. Will Biddick on Thomas Crown. Good shot of the horse there. 7-year-old, trained and owned by Abigail Lewis. First races since, pulled up in a couple of rules races in the summer of 2019. Second in first in 2 point-to-points in April and May that year. All in the range of 2.5 to 2 3/4 miles. Up in distance for this first race for a bit now, but clearly has the assistance of Will Biddick. But it's pretty tight at the top as far as the betting is concerned. Accordini has James King and has that fair form from the summer. Clever Des Essence as well. Natalie Parker has some decent credentials. And then Thomas Crown with Will Biddick. Hasn't run for a long time, but clearly of interest. So the starters flag is up. I think a couple of them were a tiny bit too enthusiastic about getting going, so they're asked to take another turn. Green colours there is Ile d'un Regard, taking another turn as well. And here they go.
Time. And Steven Steele is one of the first to jump off with Must Meet for a Pint. Back in second, quickly to the first fence. And all 6 are over it safely. Back in the field then is Clever Des Essence up on the inside, back in third. Then Thomas Crown settles his way in fourth as they head down the hill and continue on. Then we've got Ile d'un Regard, who's in a clear fifth, and the back marker is Accordini. And Accordini, the money horse, he's gone into clear favourite at the off, and he is the back marker in these very early stages, about 15 lengths now off the front runners. And they are ahead with the black colours of Must Meet for a Pint and the grey Steven Steele, 1 and 2. Then Clever Des Essence is back in third. Then Thomas Crown and Will Biddick in 4. A couple of lengths gap then back to the nearly all green colours of Ile d'un Regard in 5. And Accordini and James King whip them in back in 6. Steadier pace in this race, the restricted. Definitely haven't freewheeled down the hill. It's been pretty sedate as they hit the bottom of the course and face up towards the ditch for the first time. And out front, Chad Bayman it was who took off and led on Must Meet for a Pint from Darren Edwards on the grey Steven Steele. They are 1 and 2. The Clever Des Essence and Natalie Parker up on the inside, back in third, going the shortest way. Will Biddick then in fourth on Thomas Crown over the next plain fence. And then we've got Ile d'un Regard and Barnaby Trenier, who's pulling quite hard on the inside in 5, and Accordini in 6 over the next plain one, getting a bit closer. Ile d'un Regard was a little bit short on that one, just got into the top of it, and he's still pulling quite tight. Barnaby Trenier, you can just see his head carriage is getting higher, and he is pulling for his head. He's having a bit of a problem just to hold him in there, in behind the horses. Wants to go a stride faster. And the pace has definitely been pretty sedate throughout so far. So out in front, onto the next plain fence. They've completed one circuit. And the leader in those black colours, Chad Bayman, Must Meet for a Pint, leading them along. Steven Steele and Darren Edwards, always been on the sharp end, is back in second. Clever Does a Sens back in third. Thomas Crown 4. Il Dunregard is then 5, still pulling away, and Akundini 6. They are, as was to a circuit ago, no change in the order whatsoever as they continue on next towards another plain fence. It's number 9 of the 18. On they go. Steven Steele then has heard my remarks, and he's gone on into the lead for the first time by about a length under Darren Edwards. The plain fence comes, and he's over it in front, and all jumping safely, that one. And back in second on the inside then, Must Meet for a Pint, couple of lengths break, then back to Clever Does a Sens, then Thomas Crown. Il Dunregard is 5, and Accordini, the market leader, is the back marker of the 6, now about 8 lengths off the lead. They turn at the bottom of the course for the second time and head up towards the ditch. And it is Steven Steele now taking them along with a clear advantage by 2 lengths. Darren Edwards asks him up, and he comes up well. And again, the jumping is good by these restricted horses. On the turn back towards us, Steven Steele then leads from Must Meet for a Pint back in second. Still pulling away in behind them is Il Dunregard in about 4th or 5th. Still going the shortest way in that noseband is Natalie Parker. Travels kindly for her as well, and that is Clever Does a Sens. And on the wide outside, Will Biddick in the white cap purple colours is Thomas Crown, and the back marker still of the 6 is Accordini in the yellow and black colours. They come past us with one complete circuit to go. Tempo has just increased fractionally as they head up past us, and leading them now, Must Meet for a Pint has gone back to the front from Steven Steele. Gallop hasn't found anyone out yet. 6 of them all in with a chance. Come to the next plain fence, and they're all over it safely. Thomas Crown's just been relegated to the back of the pack as Accordini is on the move under James King, so they now begin to turn downhill. Must Meet for a Pint, the green colours on the inside, and out the side door there, I'm afraid, is the Must Meet for a Pint. He was just challenging for the lead, and he's gone out the side door. Il Dunregard has pulled his way to the front now. Il Dunregard, we're down to 5. Accordini has pulled himself also on towards the front end now, tracking the leader, now beginning to slice through them. Clever Does a Sens has always travelled in about 3rd and still there. Back in 4th then, Thomas Crown and Steven Steele, the grey horse, is just beginning to find it all a bit difficult. The pace has certainly increased, tempo's increased. On the way down to the bottom of the hill then, Must Meet for a Pint and Barnaby Trenier in front with Accordini breathing down his neck back there. Thomas Crown is on the move also up on the outside of him. They are 1, 2 and 3. Clever Does a Sens still bang there in 4. A gap is widening now. Back to Steven Steele back in 5. Over the ditch for the final time. Push beginning to come to shove now. And Thomas Crown is the one that's moving very stylishly into the race now. It's Meet Me for a Pint then, just with a fractional advantage to Thomas Crown. Accordini, rider picture, is trying to drive up the inside. Second last, Must Meet for a Pint, still holding sway, but he's got Accordini one side and Thomas Crown the other. James King and Will Biddick coming to fight it out. Final fence then, Accordini and Thomas Crown with the meat and the sandwich. Must Meet for a Pint, 3 in the air together. They run to the line. Thomas Crown, Accordini finding more on the inside, and Accordini's finding it all. Accordini's pushed out. Accordini wins it. Must Meet for a Pint back in second. Thomas Crown is 3rd. Clever Does a Sens is 4th. And Steven Steele will finish 5th.
Well, we have not been short of entertainment all afternoon, but look how long it took for James King just to pull the horse up, and a well-deserved double, treble, quadruple pat down the neck for this horse. Accordini confirmed the result in full in second. Big run from Il Dunregard. in just behind. And big thumbs up and big smile. I'm loving the big smiles today. It is the first day of the season, and everyone pleased to be back. And they're chuffed to bits, aren't they, with that success of Accordini, trained by Gareth Moore. And this horse, it did just look as though it was Will Biddick on Thomas Crown that was the one really stalking Éole d'un Regard. But no, it wasn't. It was, in the end, it was James King riding a very canny race on this son of Dr. Massini. We'll confirm the starting prices shortly, but at one point, Accordini was clear favourite, but just before the off it was rather tighter, along with Clever des Essences and Thomas Crown as well. And that is the way things have worked out. We might, I think, have a chance now to look at the closing
so Thomas
stages.
Crown, Accordini,
Éole d'un Regard in the lead, running a big race there under Barney Trenier. And coming to the last, Accordini with the yellow, the white cap of Thomas Crown. It's all on the jump, isn't it, at the last? And the three in the air pretty much together. But look at the way Accordini gets away impressively fast up the run-in, the long run-in here. And is going to, the further they go on the Dunsmore run-in, the more emphatic the success is going to be for Accordini, this 9-year-old. And good to see that one. Good to see James King, the national champion point-to-point rider, in the winner's enclosure in the Devon and Cornwall area, which was important to him last season and important to his success. And great to see him winning this restricted race this afternoon. Éole d'un Regard in second place. That has run a big race. That's definitely, there is, how old? He's only a 7-year-old. There's definitely an okay race in that horse at some point, I'm sure. Thomas Crown, first run for ages, so that's run with real credit. And Clever des Essences hasn't run at all badly either. I'm sure there'll be a success in that one again before too long. Bit of explanation there coming from Darren Edwards to the Steven Steele connections. And you can see number one over in the far distance there. That's Accordini, our winner of race 5 out of 6 in the sunshine this afternoon. Goodness, this has gone fast. We'll have the list of runners and riders in just a second for the final race, but I can tell you, I think there are 6 in the last, I think, but we'll have a full list of them relatively soon. We've got some starting prices, first of all, though, for our 5th race. So number 1, Accordini, has come back as the winner. Did favourite on the off or just second favourite?
5 to 6 went off.
So there was late money for that. So first, number 1, Accordini, at 5 to 6, so 6 to 5 on, went off odds on the end. An odds-on favourite is one at Dunsmore, shock. And the second horse was Éole d'un Regard.
Yeah, who was 5 to 1 in the end.
5 to 1, and for interest, the third horse was Thomas Crown at.
Went off 6 to 1.
Right.
So,
okay.
Excellent.
Well, that is the news from the betting ring after the restricted race 5 here this afternoon. Some of the vanquished going off to have a think about what went wrong there. Natalie Parker just going through the screen a second or two ago. And the success in the end going to James King. Right, as I say, the final race is due off at 2:55. And I think we can have a look at quite a few minutes' time yet. But we have the runners and riders for this race. So number 1 doesn't go. Number 2, Da Vinci Rock with William Knight. And that's a horse that we can definitely be looking out for. Remember, first time out last season, Da Vinci Rock was a shorter price than you might have anticipated when finishing third. I think it was Cherrybrook. And clearly that horse has shown someone, somewhere, something, trained by Rob Channin. Number 3, Dirl Rock. Jeff Barford-Saunt rides that in the Jason Warner colours. And Dirl Rock is trained by James King, who's been our winning rider in the last race. Evron's running. I'm fascinated by Evron. Josh Newman rides, looking for his second win of the day. This partly owned by Josh and his partner Kaylee Willicott, and everyone's got, as we'll find out in a second, it's got some quite good form in France, some interesting form. 6 is Stevenstown. Evan David rides this in the colours of Joe Golding, Chloe Eastman, Mike Golding and Torben Hughes. Then number 7 is Truckers Pass, Will Biddick on board, riding for Tom Malone. Combination that's had plenty of success in their time, not today yet, but who knows. And then 8, Wise Garden, Charlie Sprake rides that, and he's riding in the colours of Mr Emmons, Mrs Connors, Mr Risdale and Joe Tickle as well, and that one trained by Danny Keneally. So those are your runners for the final race of the day. More on that when the horses are in the paddock in a few moments' time. Just confirmation of the result. Yeah, I'll tell you what, let's get rid of that caption for a second, and we're going to talk to James King, the winning jockey of that last race. I know it's the first day of the season in this part of the world, James. Big smiles on these occasions. Great to get the winners on the board early in the season.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it's great to follow. And I had a couple of disappointments early in the afternoon, but it's great to cap the afternoon off with a winner, and even better to ride it for trainers and owners who have been very loyal to me over the years. So no, it's great to get them a winner.
Yeah, and Thumbstone Blues, obviously a lot of interest in that one. Didn't run that well first time out last year. So I just needed the run? Or?
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because I actually said the same myself. He's never runs very well pre-Christmas, but we thought he was very, very well and fit and healthy at home. Obviously, he had a huge penalty on his back. He was giving £17 to
after all those
horse.
wins last season.
And I know it's no excuse, but he missed a fortnight about a month ago, and maybe that's just cost him. But I think the difference was the weight, really. £10 first mount. It's a bit different when they're battle hard and they're fit and they're race fit, but first one of the season, £10 is a huge weight, but I thought I might get away with it and I didn't, so we go back to drawing board. He's come back sound, healthy, and
he'll be alright, won't
fingers
he?
crossed. Yeah, no, I'm not sure he really was that in love with the ground. The ground was just a bit on the pluggy side, and he never travelled his normal zest, so we just
so that four-timer was sort of spring and early summer, wasn't it?
Yeah,
when the ground's a bit different.
Yeah, well, he won on ground from good firm to soft, but I don't know whether he's just a better horse in the spring with a bit of sun in his back. Some horses are, aren't they? So we'll see.
And great to be on the win. I know you've got a runner in the next, so I'll let you go in a second. But great to be on the winners' board as you defend that title that was so famously won last season.
Yeah, no, it's great to get winners, and like I said, it's great to ride winners for the connections. They've been very good to me over the years, and it's I think the main thing is if you can chip in a winner here, there, and everywhere each week before Christmas, before the new year, then it can all help, so fingers crossed.
And one sentence on Dale Rock in the last?
He hasn't missed day work, he goes very well, he's been galling well at home, his schooling's great, but he's shown very little on the course, but we'll just see.
Excellent, well done there. Good luck in the last.
Thank you very much.
Lovely to hear from James King, the national point-to-point champion rider, in the winners' enclosure here at Dunsmore this afternoon after the success in that last race in taking style of Accordini. So good to see James here this afternoon. One race to go this afternoon. That's the 6 years old and over maiden race at 2:55. The race kindly sponsored by A&S Paving and Building Supplies. More on that in a moment, but we interrupted the caption with the confirmed result of race 5 in order to have a word with James there. So let's see if we can just confirm. There we can. Just confirming the result from the judge. First, number 1, Accordini, ridden by James King, as we've heard. Second, number 3, Olden Regard. I don't know, you don't have trackers for pointed points. That will win a race this season. Barney Trenier on board. And third was number 6, Thomas Crown, with Will Biddick. 2.5 lengths and a length. And the time 6 minutes and 34 seconds, and the other horse that's not that restricted was not the worst ever, and the I think Clever Days Assance has finished 4th in the end, and that's also another one to keep an eye on in the future. Right, you are pretty much bang up to date as those guys in the crowd here at Dunsmore this afternoon. We're close to Exeter, we're close to the town of Tiverton as well, close to the village of Silverton, big part of the countryside, an event like this in Devon and Cornwall, and people who come back to support it in good style. So really pleased that so many people have indeed turned out this afternoon. That's Da Vinci Rock in the paddock for our final race of the afternoon. It's one of a couple of horses in this race that I really like to follow, because I'm just really struck by, I think it was third first time out last season at Cherrybrook. It was quite well supported, and there wasn't a lot to go on form-wise, so I suspect this horse has shown ability on the gallops, and he's a horse that I'm very much looking forward to seeing this afternoon. Have we got? I think we've got some betting, have we, on this? Have we got betting, or are we doing SPs?
No.
So just talking about Da Vinci Rock there, what price is Da Vinci Rock?
5 to 2.
5 to 2.
Early prices.
So, right, if we go down the card, Da Vinci Rock 5 to 2.
Darrell Rock 2 to 1.
2 to 1.
Evron 5 to 2.
5 to 2 Evron. Stevenstown
10 to 1.
10 to 1. Trucker's Pass
2 to 1 on.
2 to 1 on. And Wise Garden
is 5 to 1.
5 to 1. And just confirmation, thanks to Mike for that, confirmation that Charlie Sprague rides number 8 Wise Garden, and Jeff Barfoot-Saunt rides number 3 Durl Rock. Ex-Valley Farm Shop getting their money's worth on the live stream this afternoon, and Waterman's Country Supplies, fine establishments both, especially the Ex-Valley Farm Shop. No, all of them. All the banners are thanks to Bray Accountants for their support, and indeed the support of all those who have banners around the paddock here this afternoon. So there's Evron. Evron. This is a horse a few of us followed quite closely last season. He's a 7-year-old. He's just gone out of the picture, but he's going to come back in the picture now. Lovely shot of his head there. And Evron's a 7-year-old by Secret Singer, trained by Neil McLean. So Neil's looking for a double, as indeed is Josh Newman, the rider on board. Now this horse, Evron, he raced in the UK for Warren Greatrex and wasn't entirely unfancied in races at Carlisle and Lingfield. Finished 5th and 6th. Has also run in France, finishing in front of Isisland, no less, at shorter distances at Auteuil in Paris. Well beaten 3rd at Trebudanan, that was the first run in 10 months, and not sure the 2.5 miles suited when 3rd at Cottlestone in a maiden in May, and then weakened quickly in a maiden at Bratton Down in late May. Think this horse remains of considerable interest, a 5 to 2 shot, Evron, and it would be no surprise to see this horse finally get its act together and come out on top. There's Stevenstown just going through the picture there. Another shot of Evron. Lovely shots this, and congratulations to those who decided to invest in a paddock camera. I'm sure those of you watching around the world, as we've discovered today, people following the action around Britain and Ireland, and indeed around the world, these shots which are being beamed out of this corner of Devon, absolutely terrific. There's Stevenstown, a 7-year-old, qualified via the Lamerton. Joseph Golding is the trainer. Pulled up at Cherrybrook in April, but showed up for quite a long time on that occasion. Rated as high as 105 during races in Ireland, where owned by JP McManus, trained by Owen Griffin. 4th place at Ferry House wasn't bad, but clearly a top team. The McManus team has sold on. But Stevenstown doesn't look out of place at all. Looks an interesting contender here at Dunsmore this afternoon. Another look at Evron. I think the camera operator is keen on that horse as I am. But lovely to see that one. Durl Rock just going through the picture there, number 3, pick it up in a second. Trucker's Pass is number 7. Let's stick with number 7. Trucker's Pass there. Good looking horse, isn't he? He's a 7-year-old by Calanisi, trained by Tom Malone, and qualified via the Tiverton Foxhounds. Used to be with the guy that Ben Jones calls the Governor, ex-Philip Hobbs, racing for Brocade Racing of Native River, Hey Big Spender, and all sorts of other good horses fame. A lot of seconds in 6 races, including an Irish point-to-point, British bumpers and hurdles as well. Went off favourite every time, so a little bit disappointing on that basis. Let's try and find him again, number 7. but could just be a bit more at home in this particular sphere. There's Da Vinci Rock. That's Wise Garden. Charlie Sprate riding Wise Garden, 6-year-old mare. Couple of points carried out at Bratton Down and behind when unseating the rider at Upcut. Earned a mid-70s rating with Nigel Hawke. That horse, Wise Garden. Let's just stick with. Just want you to have a good look at this number 7 here, Trucker's Pass. He's a really nice sort. You'd be quite happy, wouldn't you? Handsome beast. You'd be quite happy to have him painted or photographed and in a prominent place in the house. Lovely shots of him. Number 7, Trucker's Pass. Will Buick rides. So as he goes through the picture, number 7, there's Da Vinci Rock, 7-year-old by the grey horse, 7-year-old by Diamond Boy. Went off favourite once and never longer than 6-1 in 4 runs last season, so clearly showed somebody somewhere something. Seems best on good or firmer. Respectable efforts at Cherrybrook and Fleet. Beaten 17 lengths at Fleet, but the race was decent and the stiff finish didn't seem to help. Interesting contender. Oh, they're the bookmakers. Lovely to see them. Lovely to see the bustling view of people wanting to look at Bob Pittard and look at the one next door. Not just picking out Bob particularly, but I can see his name right in front of me. But I think there are 7 or 8 bookmakers here today doing good business. In fact, doing very good business after those odds-on favourites got turned over earlier on in the day. The results since haven't gone quite so much in their favour. Evening, shadows lengthening as the sunshine continues, but clearly we're in the middle of November. So it'll be dark in an hour and a half. Can't quite believe it now, can you? Maybe a bit longer than that, but you know what I mean. There's Dill Rock, right, Dill Rock. Let's stick with number 3, Dill Rock. He's a 6-year-old by Milan. James King, who rode the last winner, trains this one for Jason Warner. Out of an Alpha Beta mare that is also the dam of the excellent and recently retired Duke of Navan. Good horse, rated in his pomp in the high 140s. This horse, Dill Rock, was beaten in a bumper and a couple of hurdle races when trained by Dan Skelton. Clearly of interest, because this type might not be good enough for Dan Skelton, but is good enough for this type of task. And there he is. Practically reach out and pat him, can't you? And Dill Rock, certainly we weren't put off Dill Rock by listening to his trainer talking just a few moments ago. So if you're just joining us on the live stream this afternoon, let's just confirm the runners for this final race of the afternoon. From the entries of 8, the contenders are number 2, Da Vinci Rock, number 3, Dill Rock, we just saw, number 4, Everon, number 6, Stevenstown, and then, as they say, because I'm looking at the race card over the page, to number 7, Trucker's Pass, which is odds-on favourite, and number 8, Wise Garden. That's Everon going through our picture now. Just convinced Everon will come good at some point, and just followed through by Wise Garden. Let's see if we can pick up number 8, Wise Garden, on the back one of those on the coming towards the centre of the picture now. Wise Garden's a 6-year-old mare. I see Joe Tickle's leading her up, and trained by his partner Danny Keneally. Qualified via the Tiverton Foxhounds for a syndicate. Syndicate Wise Garden of Mr Evans, Mrs Connors, Mr Risdale and Joe Tickle himself. And just hasn't had a chance really to show any mettle yet. Doubtless will show some mettle at some point. And the training team will make certain that they give the horse plenty of time. Jockey's in the paddock now, so won't be too long before they get up. If you like Da Vinci Rock, that's a very grey horse. Dirl Rock's in the Jason Warner colours, so the red and the light blue diamonds. Evron, black and white half colours of Kaylee Woolacott and Josh Newman, so the rider is partly owner as well. Stevenstown, Evan David. Yes, have we seen number 6, Stevenstown? Yeah, we have, haven't we? But that is a horse who showed enough to think that at some point things will come good. That's Jeff Barfoot-Saunt right in the centre of your picture, the red and the blue. There's the grey horse already mentioned, Da Vinci Rock. Trucker's Pass going through again. Trucker's Pass, Will Biddick riding in the yellow and the green colours. Not just in the picture at the moment, but they will do shortly. There's number 6. That's Stevenstown, yeah. He's a 7-year-old. He ran at Cherrybrook in April. Showed up for quite a long time. Ultimately pulled up. When he was in Ireland, he wasn't too bad, Stevenstown. He certainly wasn't useless. And I just think that something will be picked up with this one. Qualified via the Lamerton. And the bell has been rung here, indicating that the jockeys should mount. So that's Stevenstown. Evan David in the red and blue halved colours, or the red and blue colours. Oh yes, they are halved, aren't they? We're on the claret side of the colours, looking at the horse, the jockey there. So very shortly they'll be making their way out onto the racecourse for the last event of the afternoon. That's Dirl Rock, and then the dark blue with the white spots there going through. That's Da Vinci. That's Will Biddick there, as you can see, in the green and yellow on Trucker's Pass. Odds-on favourite. A couple of odds-on favourites turned over here today. And then Stevenstown behind that one, and behind that is Evron in the black and white half colours. Josh Newman won the first race of the new season in the Devon and Cornwall area. Won quite nicely as well. It's for sale, as the owners were keen to point out straight after the race. A horse trained by Neil McLean, and this was Park This One, racing for the Shannon Lodge Racing Club. Won that first race quite nicely. You'll look at the results later on. That wasn't the world's worst race, the Goffs UK 4 and 5-year-olds maiden race at 12 noon, and the horse did well. Great shot there of Trucker's Pass. Well, and hunting horn behind me, you may or may not be able to hear in the distance, indicates that's last time, please, jockeys. Out towards the starting point now. So for the final time this afternoon, and with our thanks, we can say that Chris Clapham is our commentator, who's going to describe the horses making their way to the start.
Afternoon, it is race number 6, and it is the 6-year-olds and over maiden race. And this race is very kindly sponsored by A&S Paving and Building Supplies. First one we see is number 6, Stevenstown, the man of Evan David, claret and blue halves, carrying the striped sleeves. Then follows number 4, Evron, the man of Josh Newman, black and white halves, with the red cap and a white hoop. Just leaving the paddock next then is number 3, Dirl Rock, the man of Jeff Barfoot-Saunt. His colours are red with the light blue diamonds, carries the half sleeves and a red cap. Then we've got the grey number 2, Da Vinci Rock, the man of William Knight, dark blue with the white spots, dark blue sleeves, carries a white armlet and a pink cap. Then we've got number 7, Trucker's Pass, the man of Will Biddick. His colours are yellow with the green hoop, green sleeves, yellow stars, green cap and a white star on the cap. And last one to post is number 8, Wise Garden, the man of Charlie Sprake. Red with the dark green stars, red sleeves, green chevrons, carrying a red cap. That is your 6 runners and riders going to post for our final race of the afternoon, and it is the 6-year-olds and over maiden race.
And yeah, if you're just joining us, Evron is a horse that I have followed religiously. I think Jason Weaver on ITV Racing describes them as the over-the-cliff horses. You'd follow them over the cliff. And I'm in danger of following Evron over the cliff. But I'm sure things will come good at some point, in good hands for that to happen. But that is Da Vinci Rock there. My fascination with him is these odds. He went off favourite once and never longer than 6-1 in 4 runs last season. So people somewhere really likes this horse. Dill Rock going through Stephenstown. That's Wise Garden, the red colours with the black chevrons on the sleeves. This is a really intriguing race. I don't know what's been happening at Nightwick races this afternoon, but I tell you what, here at Dunsmore, we've had some really intriguing races, some interesting stuff, and plenty of entertainment. We look forward to looking at the results from Nightwick on the Point-To-Point website later on, point-to-point.co.uk. The results go up there. The entries go up there as well. Various news, gossip going, all that kind of stuff. Point-to-point.co.uk. Let's just update ourselves on some betting. This favourite was Trucker's Pass earlier and remains favourite.
Yeah, and
what sort of price?
3-1 on.
3-1 on. So
yeah.
In fact, more support. So working our way down the card, number 2, Da Vinci Rock.
3-1.
So that horse is always short.
Yeah.
So he must show someone somewhere something. Dill Rock.
7-2, as well as Evron.
Evron also 7-2.
Yeah, Stephenstown 12-1, and down the bottom Wise Garden is 11-2.
Right, but it sounds as though Trucker's Pass is a pretty
money.
solid favourite, and they're off and running.
Slightly missed the kick was Wise Garden, just settles in arrears in the very early stages as they head over the first, and all 6 standing. So the grey it is, the Da Vinci Code. Da Vinci Code leads them along by half a length to Stephenstown up on his outside, pulling quite hard. Back in the third then, in the diamond colours, is Dill Rock, and he reached for that, made a mistake. Good sit by Jeff Barford-Saunt back in third. Trucker's Pass, the short price favourite, is in fifth in those yellow colours. He's up on the outside of Evron, who's just through in fourth, and the back marker is Wise Garden. Quickly on to fence number 3, and they are getting on with it, these older maidens, as they head on towards the next plain fence. Kicked into it, the leader, and again not a great jump by the third horse, Dill Rock, and they continue on then. Da Vinci Code on the inside of Stephenstown, these two sharing it. Dill Rock settles in third, then Trucker's Pass is up on the outside of Evron, sharing 4 and 5, and and Wise Garden is happy to watch on from the back under Charlie Sprake. So settling down, pace just steadied a little bit as they've reached the bottom of the course, and they begin to bunch again. Da Vinci Rock the grey, nearly with a fraction advantage over Stephenstown. Da Vinci Rock then under the guidance of William Knight, having his first conveyance of the afternoon. Evan David is up on his outside, also having his first ride of the afternoon on Stephenstown. Up on the inside then, jumping a bit better now, is Dill Rock under Jeff Barford-Saunt. They're nearly a line of 3. Evron then under Josh Newman, who won the first, is back in fourth. Will Biddick on the odds-on favourite. Trucker's Pass in the Tom Malone colours, the green and yellow, is settled in 5, and then the back marker Wise Garden and Charlie Sprake. So they've nearly completed a circuit, and Stephenstown it is who takes them along under Evan David, just with the advantage now over Da Vinci Code and Dill Rock. These two, Da Vinci Rock and Dill Rock, the 2 rocks in second and third. Back in fourth, Evron. Trucker's Pass is 5, and still back at the marker is Wise Garden, where he has been since flagfall. So down the hill they go, and still Evan David leads on Stephenstown with the advantage over Dill Rock back in second. Da Vinci Rock is back in third. The grey has been relegated back from front running duties. Evron's got a little bit closer under Josh Newman now in 4. Trucker's Pass still travels mightily well back in 5 under a patient Will Biddick. Back in 6, Wise Garden and Charlie Sprake. Another downhill fence, and the pace is pretty steady again and all over it safely. Jumping's been pretty good by these maidens so far as they continue down the hill and towards the bottom of the hill. It's Stevenstown then up on the outside now of Durl Rock, who's been sent up his inside by Jeff Barford-Saunt to go and join issue. These two have got about a length and a half lead over Da Vinci Rock in third, then Evron in 4, Trucker's Pass 5, and still the back marker Wise Garden. To the ditch then for the second time. And really good sit by Wise Garden. He was all but out the side door. Didn't make too much of a bad mistake. He just unbalanced him. And Charlie Sprake, a great sit. He was literally all off, but he's managed to get himself back in the plate. But he has lost a few lengths at the back of the pitch. Over the next plain fence, up the hill they come. And it's Durl Rock and Stevenstown who are 1 and 2. Da Vinci Rock of the grey is up on the outside, nearly making a line of 3 now. Evron in 4, Trucker's Pass 5, and Wise Garden still in the contest back in 6th, and about 6 or 7 lengths off the lead. So 1 circuit left to go in the finale, and Stevenstown and Evan David been right on the front end throughout. Durl Rock is up his inside. Da Vinci Rock then back in 3rd. Evron trying to creep ever closer back in 4th. Trucker's Pass still travels well in 5, and then Wise Garden in 6, who's just about 2 or 3 lengths off the back of the main group. They begin to head down the hill for the final time this afternoon. Stevenstown trying to inject a little bit of pace to the race. Evan David just kicked him on there as they head down. Going with him all the time is Evron and Josh Newman looking for a double on the day. Stevenstown, he's then Durl Rock's back in 3rd. Da Vinci Rock still banging the premises in 4. Trucker's Pass still travels kindly in 5 and is now only 2 lengths off the lead. The one slightly detached is Wise Garden back in 6. All still standing. Next plain fence they come to. Stevenstown kicked into it by Evan David. Led over it. Evron back in 2nd. Durl Rock still pitching in there, as is Da Vinci Rock. And Trucker's Pass happy to bide his time back in the field back in 5. And still the 4-length gap back to Wise Garden in 6. They are right at the bottom of the course now. And turning for home. Here comes Evron. He's now gone to the front. Josh Newman in the lead from Stevenstown, the long-time leader, back in 2nd. Trucker's Pass is coasting in behind them, back in 3rd, over the ditch. Leaders jumped it well. Da Vinci Rock was nearly out the side door, but a good sit there. Stevenstown's weakened back in 5. Wise Garden just cannot get anywhere near on terms. Up the hill they come then. Trucker's Pass is asked for his effort by Will Biddick and ranges up sides Evron at the second last. Trucker's Pass and Evron pitch to fight it out now as they race towards the last. Trucker's Pass, he has not moved on him yet, and he is inching clear. Trucker's Pass over the last cleared, giving plenty in 2nd is Evron. Now he shakes the reins, but he hasn't asked him. This is very easy, and Trucker's Pass does it as he likes, going away. Trucker's Pass wins. Evron back in 2nd. Da Vinci Rock then stays on for 3rd. Good race for 4th here between Stevenstown and the long-time leader Durl Rock. And back in last was Wise Garden.
So there's our winner, number 7, Trucker's Pass, Will Biddick. Get to the last race of the day and Will Biddick's not had a winner. There'll be plenty of people here who said Will Biddick always has a winner. And there he has. But I think my enthusiasm in the paddock beforehand about Evron was not misplaced. That horse has run much better. And be looking forward to better again. The way that camera is picking up those horses and the sun is coming through those trees, isn't that beautiful? And glinting off the car in front. Oh. And there he is again. Love these autumnal early winter scenes here on a beautiful day in Devon. There's the first and the second just discussing it. What's Josh saying to Will? Will's saying, yeah, scratching his chin, saying, yeah, I did win it. Josh is saying, yeah, but I won the first. And there's old Da Vinci Rock in the background as well. He must win something at some point. His odds may be a little bit more fancy. But there's our winning pair, our first two. I think they're saying to each other, aren't they? You know, I won the first, you won the last. We're old mates. We're two of the biggest names and most talented riders. We're amongst the most talented riders around. And it's great we're both in the winners' enclosure. In fact, lots of talented riders in the winners' enclosure here today. Darren Edwards winning as well. And I love, if you're following from afar and you don't go point-to-pointing all that often, the sort of camaraderie, the fact is people here absolutely love it. And they've just fought like cat and dog the first two home for 3 miles. And now everyone's friends again, probably maybe to go and slap each other on the back later on. Oh, we must have the chance of a replay of the closing stages. Have we got the replay? Yeah, here we go. Look how many were still in contention coming down to the second last. Everyone's still in front, but and Josh Newman had looked round to see where Will Biddick was on the eventual winner. And the fact is, he was travelling really strongly, and Josh gives the runner-up a slap and another one just to encourage him, but the winner's won readily, hasn't he? And that has won in the end in good style by a decent margin. He's managed to put a decent amount of ground between himself and the runner-up pretty quickly on the long run-in here. And that brings us to the end of the entertainment today. There's your last winner, Tom Malone, winning trainer owner as well, on the horse's right, on the left-hand side of the picture as we look over there. And they go into the area marked for the winner, and Biddick slides off the side of the horse. And the result just being confirmed to supporters of the day on the ground, and we will confirm that result in full shortly. But we've got some, in fact we can do it now because we've got starting prices. So our winner of race 6 at Dunsmore on this Sunday afternoon was number 7 Trucker's Pass, who returned at odds, Mike Drown, of
2-5.
2-5, 5-2 on favourite, the winner number 7 Trucker's Pass. Second home was number 4 Everon at odds of 7-2.
4-1 in the end.
4-1 in the end. And the third horse home, I think, was number 2 Da Vinci Rock, wasn't it?
Yeah, 4-1 also.
4-1 as well. So all in all, bookmakers had a bit of a wobbly start with some odds on favourites getting turned over, but in the end, do you think honours even, or do you think?
Yeah, I think they done their money a bit on Cordini in the second last race, but
but bookmakers did their money.
Bookmakers did.
Popular,
but
you got James King, haven't you? You got a horse raiding from Wales. It hasn't come all the way just
they come down with their money, but no, I think they've done all right. I don't think they can grumble too much, can they?
No.
They like to, but.
And it's been. How would you assess the day as a day's point-to-pointing? Weren't an enormous number of runners, and people slightly saying there aren't many runners, are there? But there was no shortage of entertainment.
No, I think it's brilliant. Yeah. Would have liked a few more runners, but most of them turned up, didn't they? And sort of, we had real competitive action and some lovely finishes, didn't we?
Absolutely, and the weather, beautiful.
Yeah.
We reassemble at Wadebridge.
Yeah, I'm not sure it'll be this warm in Wadebridge.
Do you think it'll be this sunny and this mild?
Definitely not.
Wadebridge. Yeah, so how many degrees colder? 10?
Very cold.
Excellent. Well, we look forward to Wadebridge on the 5th of December. Thank you very much indeed to Mike for bringing us all the betting news this afternoon. And we've got an official result to confirm for you on that last race of the afternoon, the 6 years old and over maiden race, kindly sponsored by ANS Paving and Building Supplies, and our winner number 7 Trucker's Pass odds-on favourite, ridden by Will Biddick. Second, number 4, Evron, the man of Josh Newman, and third, number 2, Da Vinci Rock, with William Knight. The time 6 minutes 24. Winner won in good style by 4 lengths. Well, it could have been a lot further than that. So 4 lengths, good winner, Truckers Pass. And 25 lengths between Evron and Da Vinci Rock in third place. So I think we might as well recap the results. So, are we going to start with the first? Oh, look, they kept two on a page at once. So that was Josh Newman's first winner of the day. Number 5, Park This One, in race 1, beat Captain Westy and Will Biddick. So they're regular rivals. Then I said Darren Edwards was in our winners' enclosure. Love to see the leading rider in this area in the winners' enclosure on the first day of the season here, riding his dad's horse, family horse, in arrears to victory over Inch Rock, who ran really well, and the Rowstone, who I would imagine might come on for the run. In that second race, there was a very strong favourite in Thumbstone Blues, who was very disappointing, but it could be, as James King came on to chat afterwards and said, it could just be, the springtime is the best time for that particular horse. So those were our first 2 results this afternoon. Then we had Moratorium, landing a bit of a gamble. Nathan Green riding his first winner, only 4 years after he started riding. And that was good victory, beating Guerrilla Tactics and Broad Clist. Southfield Theatre for the Bradstocks in the Ineos Grenadier mixed open race, beating the hot favourite there. And then we can recap races 5 and 6. Accordini for James King. So the National Point-To-Point champion successful on Accordini, that one well. Ile de Regard ran a nice race for Barney Trenier in second. And then we rounded off the afternoon with success in very good style for Truckers Pass, ridden by Will Biddick. Talking of whom, we can say good afternoon, well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, good to just not so much luck earlier on, but that was a nice success there.
Yeah, it was,
come nice and close to the mic, Will.
He's a classy horse, that one. But going back to Captain Westy, he's a good horse. He was second in a bumper, and I thought we
good form as well.
Good
isn't
form,
it?
I thought, and he's quite a good horse. I think we just came up against a good one today.
Yeah.
I couldn't really see him getting beat, and then Josh comes and sprinted by me. So I think it was probably the 2 horses. I think they were probably.
So that was right back at the beginning of the day, and then but this is one. I think official distance is 4 lengths, but it could have been quite a lot further than 4 lengths, couldn't it?
Tom said, just 3rd or 4th, and he was just getting a bit lit up there in the first half mile. So it was nice with the small field. I could drop back and just have run my own little race, and it's fine. And switch them off really, because I was afraid to ask too many questions on a horse like that because you didn't know where they'd land.
And between the last 2, just for a stride, I thought Emron's not going away, but
he wasn't getting closer.
No, he wasn't getting closer. And as it turned out, it's quite a long run in here, isn't it?
Yeah,
so you can really show your authority.
Yeah, but with him there, it was a click coming after the ditch, and he's right on the bridle, and then we turn in a couple of clicks, and he just goes. He's a proper classy horse, and it's nice. Tom does a great job with the horses. We've got a really good strike rate with.
Well, you're a hot team, aren't you? Together.
Well, Tom knows the job. He's been a jockey and he knows what he's doing, and it just works really well. He's got Lee Stevens in helping him out, and another ex-jockey.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing, so it's only lack of ability if they get beat.
Yeah, and good to see, because last time we saw you was the end of last season and you were hobbling around.
I wasn't in a boot, but I should have been in a boot.
What, you bust your ankle, had you? And
I broke a bone, and
yeah,
done 2 ligaments.
But you're obviously you're 100% obviously now.
Yeah, no, it's good to get back into it.
And
passed a fitness test there just to get my licence, and first one I've done in 18 years. So
what,
a fitness test.
A fitness test.
Well, went up to Lambourne.
I imagine you passed with flying colours.
Well, I passed. I wouldn't say flying colours.
And isn't it? Here we are, middle of Devon. The sun's out. The crowds are here. Yeah. The racing's underway. It feels all's well with the world.
No, it's good. The Silverton Hunt. There's a lot of effort goes into it, and just the farmers and the families in the hunt. It takes a lot of effort to make this day happen, and they're blessed with the weather. They've nice that they've had a bit of rain in the week, and there's been a lot of people here. The cars are queuing to go out now, so it's I'm sure they'd be delighted with today.
A final thought: you've been national champion 7 times or something like that, ridden lots of winners. Do you remain as ambitious as ever for you and your horses in the months ahead?
If I'm in it, I'm full hog. I'm not.
You're in it to win it.
Yeah, I'm no. I'm not. I don't want to. I don't see the point in just riding just to ride and not really have the ambition to win. And I've still got goals to achieve. And
what are they?
I can't tell you.
Oh, right.
But I'm fully in it, and we've got a few horses in the yard to run. They'll
how
come
many
out
will you
soon.
have?
About 12 pointers.
Right.
And then a load of 3-year-olds behind that, just going through the motions. Good team, and Charlie Sprake's here today. He, really pushing him this year for the novice championship.
Well, you pushed Connor last season.
Connor did, but just unfortunately Connor's about a foot taller than anyone else, and 2 stone heavier naturally. But Charlie's he's a good lad. He's strong, and he's going to get as many points under his belt this year as possible, and then look to go conditional, I think.
And that Bridge of Spies he rode earlier on, I shall be following that this season. That will come on for the run, won't it?
Yeah, well, I didn't really have a good look at it in the paddock, but he's quite consistent in these novice riders, conditioned races down in Devon and that, and hopefully Charlie can pick a few wins off that.
Excellent. Well, look, well done today. Someone's holding up a sign saying presentation, so you've got a trophy to go collect. Lovely to see you, Will. Super to see Will Biddick, 7 times national point-to-point champion, with us and in the winners' enclosure here today. So great to see him, to see Josh Newman, see Darren Edwards, and indeed all the riders who've been successful today, the owners as well, and the trainers, and the stable staff as well. We will be back with another live stream in 3 weeks' time. We come to you live from Wadebridge in the north of Cornwall, and you can get all the details of the live stream via the website pointingdc.co.uk. That website, in fact, you've got all on the screen there, all the details of the various social media platforms as well. But that website will keep you up to date with everything that's going on in Devon and Cornwall. There are a couple of schemes. There's an auction going on over Christmas as well. There's this Angel scheme where you can buy a package of live streaming days. And if you do, I'm not sure the details are on the website just at the moment, but were you to direct message on Twitter, for example, or on Instagram, for example, or on Facebook, for example, were you to direct message them with queries? We've got this really good fundraising auction going on over Christmas. We've got that Angel package available for the whole season, and there will be, in fact, on the website, all the details of how to actually just get the live feed on a weekly basis. So the live feed will be back in 3 weeks' time from Wadebridge. Lovely to think that the weather could be as good as this. Not betting on that, to be perfectly honest, but it's been lovely having you with us today. And I wanted to, this is a real team effort of people who make certain that this happens every week. So I'm going to mention a few people. Rita, who's the floor manager, Mike Drown, who gets all that betting news for us, also Aaron and Stuart, who are in the technical van behind me, along with Pete and Andrew, and also Jeff. Have come together. We've all come together to this tiny corner of Devon to beam out the action from here. There weren't a vast number of runners, but there was stacks of quality. There was a huge amount of enjoyment. Point-to-pointing in Devon and Cornwall is back, and it will return in 3 weeks' time at Wadebridge. Hope to see you then.
Action packed.
Countrywide.
Everyone.
Sports for all.